Okay.
Onto the tubes of you. Ooh, that sounds
there it
sick.
is.
You see my butt crack?
No, I hope not. All right. So,
Buckets.
yep. We're on there.
Buckets and buckets.
We're on there, boy.
Let's see if I can find you. The buckets and Bibles.
Looks
I find
like
him.
they got party people.
Share.
Skirt.
Copy.
All right. We will see. Whoa, we got people coming on here and go. Yeah. So we're gonna do some announcements, but we gotta wait for people to get on here. It's gonna be a minute. Yep. We're gonna party tonight, like super hard.
And then we're gonna pass out.
You're in the way. I love that. Thanks, Striker. We'll get into that in just a minute.
Oh, I'm not scrolling. We're not scrolling.
Nope, not scrolling. You're just posting.
I'm here.
There you go.
I'm doing it.
Send it.
Doing it.
Yep, share it on the interwebs.
Where are you? Oh, I'm way over there.
Oh, I love announcements, yeah.
We're on the road to Oklahoma. What are you doing in Oklahoma?
Oh, snap. What you doing in the Oak? What you doing down Hurrah? Clock 316, Shabbat Shalom.
On my way, says. Who's that? Who is this? Yehoshua 2415.
I don't know, but I like it, the name.
Says, I'm on my way. We're on the road to Oklahoma, but I don't know who that is. Whiskey's pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian. Yeah, we just jumped on a smidge. Just a little smidge.
What can I do?
But Hemi's blowing it for us.
Look,
already.
I want that energy in your age. What can I do? They said I want that energy.
Oh.
In your old age. What can I do?
Yeah. What's up, David Barb? Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that, Scott. Yeah, because what a trip, right?
What a freaking trip!
Last week, get in the screen. Say hi to the people.
Hey, people. Hey, party people.
There we go. There you go. Yeah. See. There.
Ready.
All right. So yeah, because just last week,
it's the chair.
I was
Not
trying to, because I was talking about wanting to go on a little bit of a mission tour trip kind of thingamajigger. And y'all's got a sense of humor. And he's like, you gonna sit your britches still there, boy. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. How did you do that? I need that right here. What?
Well, I wonder if I could put it on
the speaker.
Yeah,
do it.
Dude, figuring it out, and then I could type on the keyboard in my lap.
Yeah, we're gonna give it just a few more minutes because I know some stragglers out there. And then we'll do it because I'm probably gonna have to repeat this 87.205% times
1 billion
each hour.
What is that plugged to? Oh, I just unplugged the laptop. Okay, let's move it closer.
Uh-huh.
Oh!
Yeah.
Sorry for all the ruckus, y'all.
Yeah, I like
think
Nas.
of that?
Out of all the energy drinks, this one.
I was sitting on my Bible. Look at that.
My hands are right here.
Look at what do you think?
I love it. I love it, but I don't know what it looks like if I'm staring at that the whole time.
Well, try it. See what it looks like. Nope, you look like an idiot.
Dude, I shit you guys not. The letters are like this big.
Here, wait. We're gonna just.
Look at that, bro. You can see it. Hold on. Hold that back up. Now look, it's the chat. Looking at the chat. Looking at the chat.
Ooh.
That's weird.
Uh-oh. Don't slide.
Mm-hmm.
Don't slide.
As soon as somebody opens the door, I think we'll take a ride.
I'm going to have to, look at this. And I have a mouse right here. Blink. Blink. And a keyboard. Shoot. I'm freaking ready, yo. We're ready for this.
Okay, so we're going to start. Yeah.
I see you seeing me, seeing you, seeing me.
Yeah. All right, we're too far away. We're going to.
Whoa!
Oh, my goodness.
Collapse.
I did the thing. I didn't
This
mean.
is freaking rad.
I didn't mean to do a thing, but I did a thing.
How
Hey,
is that?
Connect, still connect.
Farmer Scott, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. You get to hear the good news. Hang out for a minute. Did you already tell him?
No. I almost did, though.
You told everybody,
I
bro.
almost did.
I was going to call him earlier, but then we got busy.
You told anyways. You told everybody, and then I told everybody.
Okay. Get over here and scream with me.
I can't. I can't
There we go.
scoot in anymore.
There.
I'm already pulled over. I can't pull over anymore.
Okay, so y'all did a thing. So I was looking at some other property spots because one of the things we talked about last week was like, or get a bigger, different property where we can have people come do the things, right? And so I was looking at different land and stuff like that in case the one here doesn't work out, which is, it's whatever, right? I'm down for whatever. Well, I called up J.A. Dudley and I was like, hey fam, the spot near where you used to live is for sale. And I said, what do you know about it? And he goes, oh yeah, that's this and that. And and he goes, there's a big dam right above it. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I remember it now. And he goes, hey, there's this spot over here that I told you about. It's on the market again. And I said, send me a pin drop. And this was like at 4. I just got back on property, and it was like 4 in the afternoon. And I was like, all right, grabbed a brother and one of the kids, and we smashed out there to go look at it. And lo and behold, it's a house. And with this house comes a bunch of bedrooms, a bunch of bathrooms,
a covered porch,
decent well, not a whole bunch of acreage, but an option to buy more acreage, which is great.
Dang it, I really want to look up an adjective.
And this dude loves Dudley so much that he's like, hey, I'm going to give you the same deal I gave Dudley because I love your boy. And praise y'all for that, dude. So, offered us a house at a really reasonable price. Owner finance on a 10-year loan, 8% interest, which is phenomenal for us personally. It's just... it's like one of those things that doesn't really happen. Mm-hmm. And the dude was so confident with who Dudley is and that I was his friend and we're really tight that he was like, yeah, just move in whenever you want. We'll do the paperwork in a week or two. It's no biggie, you know? And I'm like, what? And so like 8% might seem high for some people. It's not really high for me. Because the amount we're paying for it versus the owner financing and the no headache and what it is. Now, this place is for sure a fixer-upper, right? I'm not reading any of the chat.
But I happen to know a really good contractor.
Yeah, but we just happen to know a contractor that works on all kinds of stuff like that, and that paints and does windows and doors and trim and fixes stuff.
Hey, you better stop talking about my adorable face, otherwise my husband's going to try to fight you.
Yeah, if you're...
Also, there's other words for adorable. You should look them up.
This is my wife, so be very, very careful. Just very...
They also said your beard was adorable, though. So the word has been used multiple times.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so...
We got a house.
So, McMasters, what's up? And so, we got a house. Praise the Most High. He made a way for this old knucklehead that don't barely know how to read or write, that spent, 30 years running the streets being a jackass, and made a way for us to have a house. Camper life's been a blast, but 5 years and the kids have gotten big, and 5 in a camper is a lot. Just saying. We've done our time in our miniature prison cell.
And here's the thing. We've been praying a lot. Like, we understand that there are sometimes lessons to learn. We don't want to jump into something like we had a whole life living way beyond our means previously, where we had to kind of decide that it was beyond our means and stop trying to live that way. So before we step into something else, we want to be ready for it. You know,
Yeah.
we don't want to just jump into stuff because it's a good idea. And I feel like we've been, like, the kids have been praying, we've been praying, and ultimately it always ends up coming down to, like, thy will be done, you know? Like, I trust him, we all trust him. We know that if we were needing a place, he would provide it. And if we don't need it and we just want it, then we can learn to stay with what, like, give us this day our daily bread. You know what I mean? So for today, we have shelter, we have hot water, we can cook, we can freaking shower, we got heaters, you know what I mean? Like, we have our daily bread today. And so if we can just keep that, like, kind of attitude of gratitude. But it's just so funny because I do feel like we were trying to figure out whatever in our own mindset, like, what could we do? What could we do to somehow get into a house one day? And sure enough, right? I mean, how long has it been since you did that video where you were like, maybe we go on the road?
Last week.
Yeah. It wasn't even a Shabbat, though. It was Sunday.
I don't even know
Less
when
than
it
a week
was,
ago.
but it was like...
He's like, well...
But I was considering it. I was like, all right, well, I want to go do stuff. And y'all was like, whoa, hey, be still, bro.
Yeah.
Here, set up camp. Do the things here. So, anyhow, yeah. So... when I found out that there was a deal and it could be had, and I talked to the guy on the phone, and he was super cool. He was like, yeah, I told Kelt, I was like, man, I could finally rest. I don't have to look and, you know, do all the things. I don't have to, like, just keep wondering what's next. Like, here's what's next.
Where do I belong? You know, where's my... And it's hard, like, I feel like this is kind of a dumb problem to have, but, like, I've gardened every year for, what, 5 years?
At least.
And I have had to abandon every garden. And it sounds dumb, but, like, the more you garden in one spot, the healthier you build it up, the better it is, right? And so, like, I just keep having to leave behind gardens. And I feel like there's, like, a verse in Deuteronomy, maybe 28 or 30 or somewhere. It's like the blessings for obedience and stuff. But I think in that's like what you're gonna want, like that one man's gonna plant and another man's gonna eat it or something, or maybe that's Ecclesiastes. I don't know. But either way, I've been like, I want to garden. That's all I know is that I want to be able to garden wherever we are, and I want to build on it, and I want to be able to have a place where I can just keep growing without having to abandon it. And now I found the perfect spot, and it's got no trees. It's got great sun.
It doesn't have no trees.
In that one spot on the back right.
I'm just saying, the property it's small. It's about 1/3 of an acre, but there's option to buy more acreage with it.
1/3 of an acre.
2/3 of an acre?
You went from like an acre to 3/4 of an acre to 1/3 of an acre.
3/4 of an acre is what it is.
Okay.
3/4
that
of
would
an
make
acre.
sense.
Sorry, I'm dyslexic. 3/4, just under an acre. But it's a good spot.
And we've been in the camper for how long?
5 years.
5 years. 5 years. Can you imagine though? We can actually clean the camper out because we don't have to live in it, and then we can use the camper to actually travel. Like what a camper is supposed to be for.
Yeah, because Josiah
He was 1.
just getting out of diapers when we got in this camper.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we were in another camper before that, wasn't he?
He spent his whole life in there. No,
He literally did.
We were in a house. Yeah. 2 houses.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah. Now you remember, huh? You remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
2 ambulance trips. That was a terrible house. I had to ride with Sammy in an ambulance, and then I had to send you off in an ambulance.
That was, oh.
Yeah.
Josiah's wasn't in that one. It was in the other one.
Oh, yeah.
I was in the garage.
I think
smoking.
Sammy's was.
Sammy was in the other one.
Yeah.
With the garage.
Yeah.
Two of the ambulance trips happened in the garage. One.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy's wasn't.
Yeah, Sammy fell off the dresser.
No.
In that back room.
No, I think it was.
I got a picture of it.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't remember. I'm getting old, man.
Camper babies are built tough. What year to get married? We just had our 11-year wedding anniversary a couple days ago.
Yeah, dude. Yup. Wait, who would that?
What?
Patty's on here?
What? Patty. What are you talking about?
Read.
Oh. They're shaloming Pandy. Oh, Pandy! Oh, yay.
Oh, thanks, sister. Yeah, I didn't see it.
I was like,
go
you're
by.
super dyslexic. That says Patty.
Yeah, well, whatever. So reasonably priced that for us we can afford. Even if things are really tight, we should still be able to squeeze this. You know, it's obviously going to be a little bit of a change because we haven't had furniture.
All of our furniture is built in.
We haven't had furniture in forever. So, you know, we're going to have to acquire a bunch of that. Now, we've got a little bit of stuff. Like, I've got
these little end tables.
We got some
a
end
little
tables.
recliner. Everything, all the furniture we own is in here.
Yeah, and then we've got this office desk and chair. Yeah, we're doing it. Yeah, we're doing it. So we'll just get some lawn chairs. We'll be good.
So if you ask about why we have no drywall up right now,
It's because we spent the money on a house.
We're about to have to fix up an entire house. But luckily, most of it's all like cosmetic stuff. There's a lot of like painting and holes in the walls that need to be repaired. Just finish out the door. Like, I don't think there is doors inside, right? Aren't all the hallway doors like just blank? There's not even a casing in them or whatever?
No, there's doors, but there's 3 doors in the hallway that need to be replaced.
Oh, okay.
There's some closet doors that need to be replaced. There's 2 windows that need to be 3 windows that need to be replaced, and then 2 exterior, maybe 3 exterior doors that need repair. So all the exterior doors need repair. And then I think almost every room needs some kind of wall repair, and 100% needs paint.
Yeah.
And then it's concrete, it's on slab, which is really nice. Because you don't have to worry about pier and beam stuff.
Yehoshua says, are you still going to be able to are you still going to be able to help us give our new house a little TLC? So it must be somebody. Who is it? They're saying like we know, who are you? I know that we obviously have to know who you are, but I don't recognize the name.
Yeah. If I said I was going to do it, there's a Torah for that. I'm going to do it. But this doesn't really change anything, so I'll still be working.
And Sheila, yes, it was in our local area. So it's about 20 minutes from where we are now.
Now, don't get us wrong. We love the spot that we're in, and we really wanted to stay here, but evidently it's just not in the cards.
Oh, Yoshi. Is it Yoshi? No.
No.
It's not Yoshi. We met at Tato's.
Oh, yeah, I know who it is.
It's not Yoshi?
No. Yeah, it's he's moving up north where we're going tomorrow. No offset.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be up there close to there and coming from the West Coast.
Talked about the prayer.
Yes, that's the one.
Group. Okay.
Yep,
okay.
yep,
Okay.
yep.
Change. Got you.
Yeah.
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 Scott says, please let us know if you are registered somewhere. I actually thought, like, who was it? I don't know. I don't know. One of my friends was like, oh, maybe you should have like a housewarming party.
Wait,
I was like,
somebody said what?
Let
If
us
I'm
know if you're
registered?
My brain automatically says
As a drug offender?
or like, but I'm assuming, I don't know. I'm assuming, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking like, baby shower type wedding
I don't know what
thing,
that means.
housewarming. I don't know. Maybe I'm totally wrong.
I'm new at this. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Exactly. But I know, like, I did a big housewarming party in my first ever apartment, which I feel like this is pretty similar because
we get free toasters?
When I moved into my first apartment, I didn't have any of my own stuff.
I need a new toaster. Like,
oh my gosh.
Them double ones are amazing, but if you get a cheap one, they don't last very long.
Yeah. I think maybe we could do a registry. The problem is, like, can we put
Amazon
drywall?
Register?
Can we put drywall and windows on it?
No.
You'll get 7 toasters. Yeah, it'll have to be for sure one registry where everybody can update it.
I don't know, baby. We'll worry
yeah,
about
it's
that
Shabbat.
later.
We're not.
Yeah, we'll worry about all that later.
But
I appreciate you guys.
We're super duper excited. Okay.
Yeah, we're really and do you have some footage on your phone?
I got
Share
images.
Just show some images. Let the people see. Like, let me preview it before you put it on there. I don't want to obsecky. Probably not, but we'll see. We'll give them a little something.
Woo! Please hold. Downloading. I mean, do you want the kids in it?
That's fine. That's even fine. Yeah, that one's good. We'll send that one.
Send it.
Well, no, I mean, just no.
What?
Turn the phone sideways, yo. There you go. What's bigger?
Ooh, look at that. It's so much better. I can see.
There you go. That's good.
Now.
Okay. So there you go.
It's got like stone. This is stone. And these are actual logs. Like actual branches
Cedar
from real
post.
trees. They're so cute.
Cedar post.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's got a covered porch with a metal roof, guys.
Yeah. So it's got a well, and I was really concerned about the well. I know it's got iron in it because there's like rust and stuff on a couple of fixtures, but I don't care. The owner actually said the water is really, really good. He says you don't really get any like sulfury smell, except for just barely a hint of it when you first turn the water on. Outside of that, it's good water. So that's a good thing because a lot of the water on the wells, it's so hit or miss. But I'm still going to do rainwater catchment. That's going to be on Patreon. I will run you guys through the whole get down, and I will show you how to have backup plumbing setups from rainwater catchment so you can pipe it in your house, and I'll show you guys how to do the whole thing.
Also, Yehoshua says, let me know if you need any plumbing help, bro.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I don't think so. Everything's plumbed on this thing.
Well, no, we haven't ran any of the power, meaning we haven't also ran any of the water yet. So we don't know if we don't know what we're working with until we get power to it and then flip everything on and see if anything catches fire or floods. But we pray it doesn't. I would hope that it wouldn't.
Here's the thing. I know a guy that knows a guy. And it's fun.
I know a guy.
What's up, Justin? You missed the announcement, stud. We bought a house, bro. Now you can come visit.
Dude, you're going to make that into the Taj Mahal. Could just be galvanized pipes.
It's not galvanized. It's all copper. It's in slabbage. I don't know if it's in slab. It's on a slab. The drains are definitely in the slab, which, should be good. Fun fact about this house, it was not built on site. It was actually brought from another property far, far away in another galaxy. And they brought it and they set it on this slab and then wrapped it in stone and then put a metal roof on it and did some other cool stuff like brand new sheetrock and stuff like that.
Scott says send the water out for testing. We could do that probably.
I'll test it like this. Yep, it's water.
See, what I wanted to do, I wanted to learn how to build our own water filtration with like rocks and sand and charcoal and stuff.
We will do that here.
I want to, okay?
I
want to make my own homemade Berkey.
We're gonna have, what kind of charcoal we need?
We need to make charcoal.
What kind of charcoal?
Just actual charcoal.
Didn't you have a name for it though?
Suffocated burnt wood.
Yeah, I know what charcoal is. Bro.
That's what charcoal is.
Yeah, but you said a name for the special charcoal.
No, it's just charcoal.
Okay, cool.
So you need.
Just get some matchlight ones.
I want. Oh gosh. I want to purify it as if the ground is purifying it. But then I want to take what's in there and send it off and actually pay to get it tested. Because if it's mostly clean but it needs to be boiled, then like that'll survive end time stuff because we can make fires. You know what I mean? Activated charcoal? I don't know if
that's the word.
Do you have? I don't know if you have to use activated charcoal.
I'm gonna activate it. I will activate it.
This just made me nervous.
What?
His phone has a red alert on the top that says live. And like typically on my phone.
Oh no, we're live.
On my phone, if something's miscolored, that means I accidentally called somebody.
Yes.
Suffocated burnt wood.
Yeah, that's the suffocated burnt wood stuff that we're talking about.
You know what?
You activate it that way.
My son Josiah, he's 7. He says he's talking about dice, but he calls it the polka dot cube. I was like, It's not wrong. It's not a wrong description. It is a polka dot cube.
Yeah.
Not sure I would know what you were talking about if you described it
Oh.
that way, but ooh.
Yeah.
Justin, sweet, I'll bring you a housewarming ram lamb.
No, we don't got a lot of acreage. We have option to buy acreage, and I mean, I could probably, if I had the dough to do it, I could probably get like maybe 10 or 20 acres, but I don't have the dough for that. Not reasonably in the budget that I'm working with. Now, you know, if I've, you know, hit a scratch off at the store for, you know, 100K, then yeah, I would buy the acreage. But I will get a couple acres, at least one extra acre, so that we can run more. Hey, what's up, family? I was just talking about acreage. I would get a minimum of one more acre, because with that I can at least have a couple sheep, or a bigger garden, or I could put like a shop.
I would like to at least get some sort of livestock somewhere, whether goats or sheep, preferably
No
sheep,
goats.
because goats are kind of assholes.
I like sheep, and they know my voice.
But goats you could tie them up and let them eat all the weeds.
No goats.
Let me see.
There's not even enough weeds for the goats to eat.
About in the back, if we got livestock, we'd have to use it on the back of the side.
I can't show you, but yeah.
How much land? It was about. It was less
David.
than an acre, I think.
Yeah, it's about 3/4 of an acre, but he offered me options to get more land, so that's what I will be doing.
The shepherd sheep. There's totally a reason why it says Yeshua in the end is going to separate us like goats and sheep. Like the sheep hear my voice, right? The sheep are going to stay within boundaries. The goats don't care what the borders are. They're going to jump right over and shit on your car. Like they literally don't care at all. They won't listen to you. They're just going to headbutt you. They're going to be peeing on themselves. It's going to be terrible. But the sheep are so calm and polite, and they just kind of wander around all retarded like, and they're so fun. They just kind of hang out.
Yeah, I actually don't know, man. I've never, so listen, man, I'm almost 50. I've never owned a house. And the property that I own right now, that we own, is...
orders the buckets of goat on Amazon.
It's less than what it costs to fill my truck up in fuel on the taxes on the land that I own currently every year. It's less than what it takes to fill my truck up. So, we'll see what this one looks like. My assumption is it's probably going to be a couple G's every year. Safely. Yeah, probably. You know, if we keep it looking like a trailer park, maybe not too bad.
What? I didn't hear anything he said. I was reading the comments.
I was trying to get your goat, but it didn't work, so.
I didn't even... You got my goat? Where's the goat? We were just talking about it. I don't want any goats. I want sheep.
The appraisers come out, and we're out there just smoking meth and, you know, walking around with chickens in our hands and, you know, spanking our dogs and shit with a chicken. Maybe... it will just, they'll be like, nah, they ain't got no money anyhow. And nobody wants to buy this.
Is that for your, the taxes you're talking, Dad? $2.35? Is that what that means?
Dang, was it really done? Holy cow. That's amazing.
Ours was like 2.5 acres and it was what, $20 or something?
$24.
So that's a way better deal. You save like freaking $17 or something like that. I don't math good.
You know what's cool? If we can keep our other property though, which I think we probably should, is there is probably, what do you think?
I don't know the question.
800 trees on our property, oaks?
Yes.
Oak trees.
We could go out there every year, just knock
load
them down
up a couple,
and let them keep growing.
A couple cord of wood, like no problem, and you wouldn't even notice.
Yes, Rebecca, it is close to it's close to where we're at now.
Yeah, close-ish.
And the other property with the wood, it's got like you walk around and there's just all these little like acorns or whatever planting in the ground, growing new freaking trees. It's ridiculous. All over the place. I wonder if I can, if any of you guys know, okay, listen, I planted some fruit trees and some grapes at our other property that we have not lived near. And so they're kind of still existing there. Can I they're 2 or 3 years in the dirt. Could I somehow transplant them to the new property, or would I have to start over and leave those guys there and get some new ones?
I would start over because they're like freaking so tall. I don't even know that you can get them here.
The problem is that you have to wait. The Bible talks about waiting a certain amount of time before you eat from the trees. There's like I think it's like 5 years or something. And so we've already had them. They were like 2 when we got them, and they've been in the ground, and it's almost the time where we can actually start eating from them, and then now we're going to have to start all over.
Just buy some older trees.
It'd be really cool if I could just take the ones that are already 5 years in and then
do some grafting. That's right, Tammy.
Graft it in, man. Visible property improvements can lead to taxes. Oh. So we'll just leave the janky front door then.
Yeah. We'll just like leave some weird crystal meth looking stuff out near the gate.
No, Gregory, I never did trim the trees because I just was gonna let them kind of do their thing, but I haven't seen them in 2 years. I have no idea what the status is on them.
It's been a hot minute. I saw them last year and they looked big, but they probably needed to be pruned.
Prune candy.
Yeah, if you don't eat Big Red.
Move them now while they're dormant. I also had these blueberries that I had in buckets when they were in buckets. But and we moved from state to state to state, and they just stayed in buckets. We bought our old property, we planted them in the ground, and then I got super sick and couldn't live that far from him working and couldn't do the off-grid stuff. So I'm pretty sure all those blueberries that I carted around for a couple years are dead now. Ugh. Exactly. Looks like a trap house on the outside, mansion inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The backyard is just dope.
Yeah, I'm out front with the wife beater on, just,
oh, no.
Sweaty, working on my truck.
Come back.
Come inside,
Oh, there we go. Boop.
Have some coffee, go do some live streaming.
Start all over. They need trimmed. Dang it. I mean, but trees in nature just do nature things, right?
Yeah, bro.
I guess if I just leave them there, I'll just leave. That's what I'll do. I'll leave some at the other property. Let nature do nature things, and then we'll plant some new ones, and I'll take care of them and baby them, and we'll see which.
Like in a couple of years, when it's producing massive, before we harvest any for us, we get to take that, and the first fruits offered are going to y'all as an offering.
So much room for activities. Yeah. I forgot to ask. Do you like guacamole?
Yeah.
We'll just park a broken down quad outside.
And a lawnmower.
And
a couple broke down trucks.
We have to change the lawnmower seat though, so it looks super dried and cracked and terrible.
No, we'll just put a trash bag over it.
Just throw a bunch of dust over it. There you go.
No, put trash bag over it.
And then we'll just cut the trash bag so it looks even worse. Is your property close enough you could still go to? No. And water the trees? No. And honestly, it's off grid. Watering anything out there was such a pain in the butt. Like, it was a lot trying to water stuff out there. So my trees were not getting watered manually out there. The garden, I was trying, but I was like, the trees, hopefully they have deep enough roots to find some water, because carrying buckets up and down a freaking ravine, ultimately, a rocky ravine, was just a pain in my, well, it was actually a pain in my shoulder and my back and my hip. But, I mean, we're technically doing a little better, so maybe I could handle it, but who knows?
Yeah, George, there's some Bible stuff about that.
Yeah, I want to say it's Leviticus or something.
Gosh, it is.
Here, we could look it up.
Let's look it up.
We're going to look it up.
Just so we know. I can't actually, your laptop's so far away that I can't scroll it, so it doesn't
Here, I have a mouse.
Good. Oh, let me mouse it. I'm going to probably...
Put it right there on your lap and just use the doop-a-doop. There you go. Use the knob. There you go. Whoop.
Oh,
this is awesome.
This is so weird. How come it's so slow?
There you go, because you're slow.
No, you're slow, bro.
To eat from new trees. Bible. We just throw Bible at the end of the question always.
All right, we got 53 people on here.
Leviticus 19:23. We're going to go to it, not that little scripture use out of context. Going to go to the actual, which verse did I say? 19. Leviticus.
Oh, Tim Allen's on here, yeah.
Leviticus 19.
That is awesome all the time.
Leviticus 19:23. Ha! I did it! When you come into the land and plant any kind of tree for food, then you shall regard its fruit as forbidden. 3 years it shall be forbidden to you, it must not be eaten. In the 4th year all its fruit shall be holy, an offering of praise to the Lord. But in the 5th year you may eat of its fruit, to increase its yield for you. I am the Lord your God. So I'm curious, to increase its yield for you. So if we follow this order, then the yield will be increased.
That's what you want to do. Just like you want to keep Shemitah.
So you can harvest it in the 4th year, but that's ultimately I wouldn't say offering, but like it's like like we could even gift it to people, like a tithe almost.
No, doesn't it say that it's his?
It does. An offering of praise to the Lord. In the 4th year, all its fruit shall be holy, an offering of praise to the Lord.
So it's an offering.
Right, but we don't do like offerings. So what if we just gathered it and gave it to people as...
Probably.
I don't know. We'd have to figure that out for sure. Let me get that mouse back though.
Yeah,
Let me get that mouse back, man.
No, it's mine now. Here, I can't. This doesn't help me. I still can't read no matter how big the letters are.
Question, Acts 21:23-ish. Temple was destroyed, yet Paul had to cleanse 4 men from a vow, Nazirite vow, and why were they doing it with no Aaronic priest? I don't know if was the temple already gone at that point, because they were doing a Nazirite vow.
I don't think the temple was gone.
I think the temple was still there.
No, I think the temple was still there because it says something about them going to the temple in multiple translations, but I'll have to confirm that. Probably look it up.
Yeah, year 4 is kind of like a mini Shemitah. That's right.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Rare breeds here. What? What's cracking, homie? Back again. He loves us evidently because he's here. So
who?
We accept you, rare breed.
Oh, who are you talking to? Just plant the oaks around the property like a giant fence. I want to just deck it out in fruit trees because, like, bear fruit for me, bitches. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to have, like, when I'm old and my kids are older, I want them to be able to just come grab a big old basket full of eggs. I mean, apples. Eggs, too, hopefully.
Yeah, so there's a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of cool features that we'll show you guys on this spot.
I think this is Mount Shasta, maybe?
Who's asking? What are they asking?
Mount Shasta?
What?
Is that Mount St. Helen behind you?
No,
Helens.
it's Shasta or Mount Lassen in Northern California.
Ooh, let me see. No, I think that's Shasta, right? No.
Maybe. Depends what angle you're looking
true.
at it. You got Lassen on
look.
there? Yeah, mirror to those.
Let's go Lassen.
Yeah, do Lassen. Yep. Right there. No, go back.
No, it doesn't.
No.
That's water.
Hey, go back. There
Okay,
it is.
I'm gonna. You
Hey,
know what I'm gonna do?
no,
I'm gonna message
wait.
the artist.
Wait. You had it. Bro.
I'm gonna ask the artist.
Bro, you had it. You didn't even look. You didn't even do a side by side.
Hold on.
Hurt my feelings.
I'm gonna look.
She hurt my feelings. It's probably Shasta, though. Be honest with you. So anyhow, Saucin, Nastakar. I don't remember even how to announce that one.
That you did it.
Desert, Jack, Wrenches, Palmetto, Striker, Justin, Farm for Truth, Patty, Pandy, all the people that are on here. I love you guys super duper so much. Thanks for that was just a praise report. So thanks for holding on. Hemi, Heather, Vic, all my peoples, Kermode, you know who you are.
Hello, Garage. Guerrera.
Yeah.
Guerrera DeReal.
Yep, all the peeps. Journey of John.
Nasty car.
Yeah.
Oh. Stupid.
I like that too.
So what's up with
David
the stuffed
Barb.
animal behind y'all? Is it the monkey? You talking about
Yes.
the monkey?
Yes. What's up, Torah? My dude.
This was my grandma's monkey that she had at her house forever, and it had a little leather jacket on.
Does it look brass to you guys?
It had a little leather jacket
brass monkey.
But then my kid put the leather jacket on the cat, and then the cat ran outside. So the leather jacket is missing, but this is my grandma's, and my grandma died. So I took it.
It's creepy.
No, it's a little monkey. It's a flying monkey.
Yeah.
Anyways, he's so cute.
All right. So what do y'all want to do now? You guys want to do stuff? Well, I'm gonna so crazy right now.
No
so
Furbies.
Crazy. No.
Furbies are weird for me. I don't like them. Creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Present. Hooter says present.
Oh, Gus is on
listening.
here. Yeah. All right, Sheila. Yeah, all the peoples are here tonight.
Want to walk outside and scream praise Yah for your new
what
house.
we could do is
my
blow
kids,
that.
My
blow
kids
that
were
shofar,
screaming.
though.
It's in the car.
You want me to blow it?
Yeah.
Let's send it.
Get it. Go do
all right.
it.
I'm gonna do that. You talk to the people.
Say.
And, hey, baby, don't be inappropriate.
I'm gonna do my best. Gus, pretty soon. Well, never mind. We're not going there. He said, literally, don't be inappropriate. As I was about to read your message, we're not. I have to follow rules. There are rules. Anyways, you guys just sit here watching me laugh at stuff because I don't know how to talk to people. Is there a Torah for answered prayer? What does that mean? Like a Torah for how to respond? Gonna get you some bees. Wait, am I missing something? Or do you mean actual bees? Because I really want to have actual bees. So fast and produce huge yield. What does mulberry do? No thank you, Marcus. We don't really know who you are enough for that game. The praise report, Farm for Truth, is that we got a house. We got a real house. We got to fix it up a little bit, but it's please mean real bees. Honeybees on your property, yes. I don't know if you can hear him with the shofar out there. Probably not. You know what's really cool is that I had I don't know if you guys can even hear him. So you might just be watching me make weird faces. Okay, you can hear him. Okay, cool. Otherwise, it would just look like I'm making weird faces at you. I forgot the question. Oh, what's funny is, you know, like in my mind, I always imagine like when we have a house someday, like I want to be outside barbecuing and like drinking sweet tea and the kids are playing in the yard. And the yard of this property looks pretty similar to, like, in my mind, what I was imagining where the kids were playing. And that's been for a long time. I've always had the same kind of picture there. So it's freaking rad. And oh, I think the kids are blowing it now. Hemi's blowing his too in solidarity. I love that. Yeah, we could grow. Oh, you know what though? I planted a whole bunch of lavender in my garden last year, and it Justin, I would love that. I don't know that we have enough food for them there, and I don't know. We haven't quite studied how to, like, what we do manually for them, but I feel like for a natural kind of flow, we don't really have enough for them yet. But I did plant a bunch of stuff in our garden last year, like oregano, thyme, rosemary, lavender, and all that. And so a bunch of that is still alive. So I'm going to pull all that up and go plant it at the new pad.
What happened?
Lavender. I'm going to plant lavender. Because
you don't know how to care for what?
Justin was saying bees. He said get bees. You wanted to
we
do
can't.
Bees. And I said, I don't think there's enough food there for them to eat naturally.
We can't actually have bees because little guy.
Oh, but they're honeybees.
That's where most people are highly allergic to those.
Yeah, he's got out. He needs an EpiPen for stuff like fire ants and wasps and stuff. But if it was far away from the house and not near where he's gonna be,
Looks like an elephant nose.
heck yeah, I'm gonna for sure take all the perennials with me. I just started a strawberry garden last year, and they were all just green. There was no fruit on any of them, but they did put out plenty of runners, so I was gonna kind of rearrange them all this year. But I might just have to get a little bed ready for them and take them all over and move them. Because now the whole plan for the garden is gonna have to be switched. Because what are we gonna do?
So lessons.
Where do I garden? Because I need to start now.
This is my lessons from my property off grid, which I tried to get by doing like cheaply or quick and easy or down and dirty. It's all a hard no, because you got to do it like you want it to last forever, right? So that's my lessons that I learned off the last get down, and now everything. I'm very particular now. Now I want it to be fancy, and at least well built.
Yeah, see, Justin, he said you put it on the edge of the property and you'll never have it, or you'll never know you have it. Won't be any more bees around than normal, really, other than right at the hive. See, I understand because we had
Honey. Okay, you can come up and do it.
No, carpenter bees,
Come
maybe?
up.
We had some sort of bees that had nested in the open
Those
shed
are
we
totally
had.
different.
And they were freaking gnarly. Like, our dog would try to get them, and they
were
would just, like, dive bomb
very
her.
aggressive.
And they were, like, sticking to her back. She was, like, trying to roll over
we did
and
some
smooch them.
videos on
We did
that.
do videos on that.
It was ridiculous.
But in my garden, they were totally chill. Like, I have a little video on my TikTok of the little bee just, like, flying right by my face, landing on a plant, and just doing his little thing, eating off the plant. He was so chill. But, like, we went over to their area, and they were, like, in attack mode.
We didn't call first. We were not invited.
No. Yeah, so I would hope that, I would assume he would be fine if we just kind of put a beehive out in the field. You know what I mean? Let nature do nature things, and then every once in a while I'll go out there and try to see what it's doing. I'm very much the, like, low maintenance. I think that nature does a great job at most things, and that the Father designed everything to work
I can also
by itself.
Neighbor's house.
So I would like that. I would like for nature to do nature stuff. You know what I mean? I wish I knew what kind. I thought they were carpenter bees, but they were burrowed in the ground underneath.
No, they
a
were
wood
carpenter
pallet.
bees. They
Under
were
a wood
100% carpenter bees.
Pop-ins are the worst. Never pop in. Always call ahead. What is that? What is that?
I'm bad at that. I just show up randomly.
No, he.
I'm like,
He
hey,
does.
what's up? It's me. They're like,
We'll be driving, and he'd be like, "Oh, let's go stop at so and so's house." I'm like, they need to know, because I'm a panic person. Like, you show up at my house and I don't know that you're coming, I'm gonna freak out because my house is a hot mess. But he'll bring people over just nonchalant. But I'm like, everything is such a mess, and he never knows what he's getting when he gets home, because I got the ADHD and the autism, so everything could be totally taken apart and destroyed because I'm in the middle of, like, deep cleaning. Or I could have went in and thrown everything away. Or I could be really healthy and the whole house is clean and the house smells like dinner, and, like, you never know what you're gonna get. So when he brings over random people at random times, I feel a little psychotic. I feel a little crazy. But, like, realistically, that is me. So they're gonna have to figure that out at some point.
All right. Well, we're steady on 50 awesome people on here. So what you want to do?
I want to talk about this.
About flowers?
Want to talk about me? Want to talk about me? Want to talk about number one on my
Garden stuff?
No. If they're in the ground, the yellow jackets mean as everything, but honeybees much more laid back. No, it was definitely bees. They were big black.
No, they were giant
Black
carpenter
bees with some, like, yellow stripies, and they were, like,
or
super
bumblebees,
fuzzy.
whatever.
Super fuzzy.
They were really aggressive if you touched anything in their hive, and they would track you down like a heat-seeking missile hundreds of yards away and still pinch you or bite you or whatever they were doing.
It was gnarly. So
they did not let up. Yeah, that's what they sounded like, rumbling.
I'd like to read.
Because they rumbled when you came up on them.
They did. It was like electricity. It was crazy. It was like we were in Jumanji.
Dude, it was. Hey, it was like, I don't really run and like act
We
like
would
a little
just stop
girl, but
and
I'm
we'd
like,
look at
nope.
each other and we'd be like, oh shit, we're gonna have to run off.
Run!
Don't hit any deer. Don't hit deer. I mean, as long as you're not doing anything
Somebody's
distracting.
gonna hit deer?
As long as we're not distracting you and making you almost hit a deer.
Hey, if you do, keep them.
That's the Oklahoma asshole bee.
That's the red ones. The red ones are like that.
That
'cause they're
is
just
the
like,
Asian ones. The Asian hornet or whatever. Remember?
Actually, I've never been bugged by those ones. Even though they're creepy and aggressive, I've never been tagged by one. Yeah, the Asian hornet.
I can't stop burping. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's really distracting me.
So I would like to read this part that I read at one point, and it's really awesome.
Oh, send it,
But
babe. I love
also,
this.
it's kind of long. So I
No,
don't
we're
know
gonna
if-
do it. It's the
It's
word.
like it's like as if we're doing a Bible study, you know, and we just read the Bible. Because I think it's really awesome. Because as I'm reading it, I'm just like, I feel like this is literally what happens. At least this is what is expected to happen as people come to the truth, right? Like this should be the appropriate response. And I know for us, this was very much our response. And a lot of people in the chat, has been like your response. So I was reading it and I was like, oh my gosh, it's already laid out, right? So, hold on. Where am I?
Something in my pocket.
I'm going to see where I'm going to start. So, this is, of course, you have a freaking drill bit in your pocket. Okay, sorry. Let me see. Oh yeah, we don't subscribe to religion either. We just like the Bible. All right. So this is in 2 Kings, chapter 22. I'm gonna start in verse 8 because King Josiah just got elected. He just joined his position as king at 8 years old.
Oh yeah, this one. This is awesome.
So after he starts trying to do whatever, he's trying to like, okay, let's get the freaking temple fixed up. Hold on.
And then they find some stuff.
Wait.
They find some writings, right?
Hold on. Yeah.
The
So
Torah?
here. So chapter
Yeah,
8.
dude.
This
This
is
is
where
awesome.
they find the Torah, right? Because it's been just generations and generations of heathenness and idolatry and chaos, right? So this 8-year-old king, the guy brings him this Torah and is like, bro, we just found this. I think we're doing it wrong, right? So he reads through it. And this is what happens. I don't know if he's 8 at this time. It's like
12. Whatever.
I'm thinking of Step Brothers when he's like, baby Jesus, or Talladega Nights. And she's like, Jesus did grow up. You don't always have to call him baby.
Newborn. Infant. Drinking out of a bottle. Sorry.
So anyways, he's probably not 8 years old when this happened, but in my brain he is. Okay, so ready. Hilkiah the high priest said to Shaphan the secretary, I have found the book of the law in the house of the Lord. And Hilkiah gave the book to Shaphan, and he read it. And Shaphan the secretary came to the king and reported to the king, your servants have emptied out the money that was found in the house and have delivered it into the hands of the workmen who have the oversight of the house of the Lord. Shaphan the secretary told the king, Hilkiah the priest has given me a book. It's like, what? This book? Read it. And Shaphan read it before the king. When the king heard the words of the book of the law, he tore his clothes.
Ah!
And the king commanded, oh no, we're not plugged in. It's trying to go down.
What's trying to go down?
The light. The screen is trying to dim.
You worried about the dimming of the laptop to stop reading the word?
Well, because we can't hear.
Party foul.
We can't
Party
hear.
foul. I got him
If
right
the
here.
brightness is turned down, we can't hear it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can't
He had
hear
a
it.
beard. That's right. Chicken Farmer Plus. Imagine that you found the law right where the father told you to store it. Okay.
Checks out.
And the king commanded Hilkiah the priest and Ahikam the son of Shaphan, and Akbor. Oh, we're going to try this. I found that if I try to say the names in the Bible that are really difficult to say, if I say them with a really heavy country accent, it makes them easier for me to pronounce.
Oh.
So we're going to give that a shot.
And so, yee skirt. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one.
Okay, where am I? And the king commanded Hilkiah the priest, and Ahikam the son of Shaphan, and Akbor the son of Micaiah, and Shaphan the secretary,
Son of
and
Micaiah.
Isai
The son of
the
Micaiah.
king's servant, saying, Go inquire of the Lord for me, and for the people, and for all of Judah, concerning the words of this book that have been found. For great is the wrath of the Lord that is kindled against us, because our fathers have not obeyed the words of this book,
Woo, boy.
to do according to all that is written concerning us.
Dude.
So Hilkiah, the priest, I mean, it's a long one though.
No,
but
go,
it's
go,
so
go.
good.
It's good.
And if we need to
People
stop,
love
we can
it.
totally
No, people
stop.
love it.
Okay?
Send it.
We can stop if we need to
ISK.
stop. So Hilkiah the priest, and Ahikam, and Akbor, and Shaphan, and Isaiah went to Hilda, the prophetess, the wife of Shallum, the son of Tikva, son of Harhas. That was not a country accent. It was like House Bunny.
Yeah, you almost cussed a little bit saying that one.
Harhas.
Jeez Louise.
I know you guys probably really like Bob's Lives when he reads so passionately, and then you get on here, I'm like, y'all did a thing. We have a house. We got a house.
We got a house, guys. We bought a house.
For all those who are just coming in here, we got a house.
Yeah, and it's awesome. And also, I love my neighbor. I love having.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Okay.
I love my neighbors now, but
let me see.
I'm excited both ways.
Sorry, I'm checking the chat. They went to the prophetess, the wife of Shallum, the son of Tikva, son of Harhas, keeper of the wardrobe. Now she lived in Jerusalem in the second quarter, and they talked with her, and she said to them, Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, tell the man who sent you to me. Thus says the Lord, behold, I will bring disaster upon this place and upon its inhabitants, all the words of the book that the king of Judah has read, because they have forsaken me and have made offerings to other gods, that they might provoke me to anger with all their work of their hands. Therefore my wrath will be kindled against this place, and it will not be quenched. But to the king of Judah, who sent you to inquire of the Lord, thus shall you say to him, Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, regarding the words that you have heard, because your heart was penitent, and you humbled yourself before the Lord when you heard how I spoke against this place and against its inhabitants, that they should become a desolation and a curse. And you have torn your clothes and wept before me. I have also heard you, declares the Lord. Therefore, behold, I will gather you to your fathers, and you shall be gathered to your grave in peace, and your eyes shall not see all the disaster that I will bring upon this place. And they brought back word to the king. Then the king sent, and all the elders of Judah and Jerusalem were gathered to him. And the king went up to the house of the Lord, and with him all the men of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. So he's been shown grace for his obedience, right? His humility.
Yeah.
So then he gathers everybody.
Heart condition.
So then it says he gathers the priests, the prophets, and all the people, both great and small. And he read in their hearing all the words of the book of the covenant that had been found in the house of the Lord.
Oh.
And the king stood by the pillar and made a covenant before the Lord to walk after the Lord and keep his commandments and his testimonies and his statutes with all his heart and all his soul, to perform the words of the covenant that were written in this book. And all the people joined in the covenant.
Yes.
And the king,
I
I
love that.
It's so
It's
good.
like, it's a good one.
And realistically, it's like, this to me is like, it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. When you
Figure out
learn
truth.
that this is real, and like our heart feels the same as we like realize that we've been missing this part. We're like, oh, I'm so sorry, Dad, right? But like for our family, for our children, for the people that we experience in daily life, that is a big example. So the king commanded Hilkiah, the high priest, and the priests of the second order, and the keepers of the threshold, to bring out of the temple of the Lord all the vessels that were made for Baal, for Asherah, and for all the host of heaven. So all the utensils and everything. All the vessels.
BS.
Yep. He burned them outside Jerusalem in the fields of the Kidron, and carried their ashes to Bethel. And he deposed the priests whom the kings of Judah had ordained to make offerings in the high places at the cities of Judah and around Jerusalem. Those also who burned incense to Baal, to the sun and the moon and the constellations and all the hosts of heaven.
Nope.
And he brought out the Asherah from the house of the Lord. There was an Asherah in the temple. Is that what that means?
Not good.
So he brought out the Asherah from the house of the Lord outside Jerusalem to the brook Kidron and burned it at the brook Kidron and beat it to dust and cast the dust of it upon the graves of the common people.
I've done that with some bros.
And he broke down the houses of the male cult prostitutes who were in the house of the Lord, where the women wove hangings for the Asherah. And he brought all the priests out of the cities of Judah and defiled the high places where the priests had made offerings from Geba to Beersheba. And he broke down the high places of the gates that were at the entrance of the gate of Joshua, the governor of the city, which were on one's left at the gate of the city. However, the priests of the high places did not come up to the altar of the Lord in Jerusalem, but they ate unleavened bread among their brothers. He defiled Topheth. We're gonna keep going because it still gets better.
Let's pause.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's pause because I'm gonna break this. So this is the equivalent if you're at a mega church, and the lead pastor comes in and says, you know what, this cross, this Christmas tree, this altar, all this crap, all this offering, all these things are garbage, and he takes them outside in the parking lot and lights them on fire. He's like, we're not doing this anymore. And then he starts reading the Torah to people. That's the equivalent. That's like what's happening.
Yeah. And this is like a whole country.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
or nation or whatever
That's why
you
I said
call it.
mega to try to give it some depth.
Choking on my own spit. Where am I? And he defiled Topheth, which is in the valley of the son of Hinnom, that no one might burn his son or daughter as an offering to Moloch. And he removed the horses that the kings of Judah had dedicated to the sun, S-U-N, at the entrance to the house of the Lord by the chamber of Nathan Melech, the chamberlain, which was in the precincts. He burned the chariots of the sun, S-U-N, with fire.
Yeah.
Fire. And the altars on the roof of the upper chamber of Ahaz, which the kings of Judah had made, and the altars that Manasseh had made in the two courts of the house of the Lord, he pulled down and broke in pieces and cast the dust of them into the brook Kidron. And the king defiled the high places that were east of Jerusalem to the south of the Mount of Corruption.
I got it.
Okay, go ahead.
It would be like if the Catholic Church in Rome went into the big cathedral place and started smashing the Mother Mary.
The temple? The
cathedral? Is that what I said? I don't know what it's called.
No, I know, but there's a name for it.
The Vatican.
Vatican, yeah.
Yeah. Start just smashing all the idols out in the parking lot and burn them. That's what this is like.
Yeah.
So it's like a major event happening right now.
Yeah.
And then, like, not only that, but, like, you know, the Pope's reading the Torah to everybody saying, hey, we're doing it wrong. This is what we're actually doing now.
Yeah.
And Sabbath is on the Sabbath, not on first day.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, go ahead.
Where am I? The Mount of Corruption, which Solomon, the king of Israel, had built for Ashtaroth, the abomination of the Sidonians, and for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, and for Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. And he broke in pieces the pillars and cut down the Asherim and filled their places with the bones of men. Moreover, so like when people are like, Jesus was going around with a freaking bullwhip, right? Flipping tables. Like, that is the appropriate response to like seeing your father's temple being disgraced.
Yeah.
No, that's not the word I'm looking for.
I know the word you're looking for. They're gonna say it.
Devoured.
No.
You guys are gonna you're gonna say it.
Somebody's
defiled.
Defiled.
Yeah,
That's the one.
there you go. Thank you.
Good job. Yeah.
Desecrated also, yes.
Yes. All those things.
Okay. Moreover, the altar at Bethel, the high place erected by Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin, that altar with the high place he pulled down and burned, reducing it to dust. He also burned the Asherah. And as Josiah turned, he saw the tombs there on the mount, and he sent and took the bones out of the tombs and burnt them on the altar and defiled it, according to the word of the Lord that the man of God proclaimed, who had predicted these things. Then he said, "What is that monument that I see?" And the men of the city told him, "It is the tomb of the man of God who came from Judah and predicted these things that you have done against the altar at Bethel." And he said, "Let him be, let no man move his bones." So they let his bones alone with the bones of the prophet who came out of Samaria. And Josiah removed all the shrines, also of the high places that were in the cities of Samaria, which kings of Israel had made, provoking the Lord to anger. He did to them according to all that he had done at Bethel. And he sacrificed all the priests of the high places who were there on the altars and burned human bones on them. Then he returned to Jerusalem. And the king commanded all the people, "Keep the Passover to the Lord your God, as it is written in this book of the covenant." For no such Passover had been kept since the days of the judges who judged Israel, or during all the days of the kings of Israel, or of the kings of Judah. But in the 18th year of King Josiah, this Passover was kept to the Lord in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Moreover, Josiah put away the mediums and the necromancers and the household gods and the idols and all the abominations that were seen in the land of Judah and in Jerusalem, that he might establish the words of the law that were written in the book that Hilkiah the priest found in the house of the Lord. Before him there was no king like him, who turned to the Lord with all his heart, with all his soul, with all his might, according to all the law of Moses, nor did any like him arise after. So, when we say, what's the first commandment? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, blah, blah, blah. What did he do? What did Josiah do as an example that showed that he loved the Lord with all his heart? He killed, ooh, what's that sound? Oh, UPS. He killed all the idolatry. He cleaned house, dude. He adjusted his entire life and everybody else's lives around him because he saw the effects of not keeping this law that had been, and he probably felt betrayed that this book wasn't known about. Like how we felt like we had been lied to, like nobody told us that we should be reading this part. And I bet you Josiah was like, damn, it's been here the whole time.
That's why he ripped his shirt. He was like, dang it, I've been trying so hard.
We've been doing it wrong, y'all.
Yeah.
And as a king, I could assume it's a lot easier to be like, okay, everybody, this is what we're going to do. But like, as just a normal everyday person, you know, prophet's without honor in his hometown, right? So you can't just go and be like, everybody, which we tried. We tried.
But like early on in your faith, this is why early on in your faith, until you have got a really good foundation in the word and in doing the feast days for multiple seasons, being reproved and instructed with the word and with other brothers being sharpened, don't try to pitch Torah to your, you know, your congregation that you've been going to until you've done this for a while.
Well, you can, but don't be mad if they reject you and tell you to leave.
Well, so like get seasoned in it and be mindful. You know, TJ did it really respectful with his wife. He said, hey, I can't articulate why I have to do this or that or what is the purpose, but I have to do it. And I'm not going to hold you accountable or say that you have to do it with me until I understand it and can explain it to you.
Uh-oh, you need a charger.
I do. And I think that was the right way to do it.
We're on live. Oh, thank you. What is that? Oh, that's the dryer. Oh. That's the foam for the dryer.
Oh, yeah. Nobody cares about that.
What? They're excited.
Hey, it's not charging either.
No, it's not. Oh, you want to just plug it into the wall? It's over there next to you.
Mom.
Hold on. Is this not plugged in? Maybe it won't charge while... Oh, no, it's going. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. No, don't allow. Don't allow. Boink. Okay. Don't allow. Shut the door.
You're letting all the cold air in, buddy.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on the chat.
Whew, okay. Whew.
Women were also weeping for Tammuz in the temple. So sick, dude. Yeah, it'd be like if Joel Osteen busts out and starts preaching like Michael Rood from Rude Awakening. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And starts blowing a shofar. Yeah.
So, sorry, I'm trying to scan through really quick. Ooh,
yeah,
Vatican
SK.
means divining serpent for a reason. Dang.
SK, without obsecking, SK, we got a house right next to our big bros on a mountain that you've been to doing some training. So you can kind of guess off of that
Let me see.
where we're at.
Sorry, I'm trying to catch up, but I'm going backwards, which is so confusing. I'd love a loud presence video on anointing oil. It's definitely something I can study. It may not be something I'll make a video on, depending on what I find, because sometimes it's a very simple answer. But I will definitely look it up for you and do some research on it. But in my mind, I know that all I know is that there was oil. And as soon as I read the ingredients of this oil, I was like, we should totally make this. And then like the next line is like, don't try to duplicate this ever. And then we're like, oh, okay. Well, I guess we're not going to make that one.
Yeah, not making that.
So, but it is something that I don't have enough information about, so I would be curious to just research it and see if there's something that I need to know about that. And if there is, if it's a study-worthy video, I will totally do that.
It's all good, Desert Jack.
Whew, gosh. Okay, I'm sorry.
Shabbat shalom, bro. Yeah, dude, so we read that last week. Mm-hmm. Was it on Shabbat? Or was it last week? She's like, hey, listen to this. And I've heard it before, but I don't think it had the depth and weight as when I've just recently heard it. And I think it might be just from being seasoned in, walking in truth and with a more sound biblical understanding. But it hit me like, man, this is amazing.
Sorry, I'm trying. Caps lock. Why are you yelling? Yeah, we went through a big phase of like when we were living very worldly like, and we felt like we were working and working and working and never had any satisfaction. We had nice boats, nice cars, like we were living in a house. We had all the nice stuff we wanted, but we were still like really empty. And we ended up going through, I think you and I both separately got the same kind of like conviction about not serving. You can't serve two masters. And so it's like, we are supposed to work. We are supposed to be hard workers. We are supposed to like be honorable, right?
Yeah.
But we can't serve money. If our entire life is based on serving money and acquiring material things, we will absolutely be distracted and forget who is the one in charge of all of those blessings. And so we ended up going through a phase where we were like, okay, we got to get rid of this. We got to get rid of this. And I think that was when we ended up moving back into the camper.
Yep.
Like we were like, we're going to simplify, like give us this day our daily bread. And he sure freaking did.
And don't get it twisted. If y'all's like, hey, walk away from this house or this town or whatever, we're up.
Yeah.
You know, that's not,
Yep.
Yeah, none of this stuff. There's nothing I have that I won't walk away from. Nothing.
And I don't think that money is necessarily bad. I think that you have to learn how to be responsible with it. It cannot be your master. It cannot separate you from the Father. And most of the time, whether it's the process of making money that maybe you have to be kind of shady or, you know, like you have to be busy all the time and never have time for the Father. Like either way, there's a lot of ways that this money making process will distract you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. 2 Thessalonians 3:10. Don't work, don't eat. That's right.
Yeah. And
Is it door shut? Okay.
you know, for me, it does feel cold, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's shut.
It does. So there is, like, we're commanded to work, right?
This
6
one.
days you're gonna work.
If you are good with little, Yah will give you a lot. Yep, those who are responsible with little can be trusted with much, and to whom much is given, much is required. So, like, how are you going to steward the wealth? If you have wealth, how are you going to steward that appropriately for the kingdom, rather than harboring it up in your own little world to make yourself feel successful?
Yeah.
But I mean, what does it say? The idle hands are the devil's playground. And I mean, how many of us, it's not a biblical scripture, by the way, but like how many of us can vouch to that? Like too much time on our hands and our brain goes freaking whack job.
Yeah.
Like we have to spend time working. And honestly, when we work, we do feel more accomplished.
I'll tell you, I was talking about it, the right kind of tired. When you pour into the land and you're stewarding it, when you pour into your people and you're loving on people and you have a servant's heart, when you're tired from doing that kind of stuff, for me, it's the right kind of tired. The rat race of just trying to pay the bills and figure out this and that, and you know, like trying to pay off debt, like that rat race is the wrong kind of tired for me.
Oh, this is Mount Lassen.
Was?
Yeah.
Boom! Got it. See? You should have looked. You should have looked harder. I told you. Mount Lassen. So if you hear earlier in the picture right back there, the painting of it, I thought it might be Lassen, and it was.
I thought it was Mount Shasta. So it's not. Thank you, Texas T. Got a house, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you're going to have to come check it out. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's time. Like, I don't even want to have it finished. I don't even want to be moved into it before I just have a big old housewarming party. I just want to have everybody over there to hang out and celebrate and barbecue and freak it. We don't even, like, I don't even want the inside done. Like, I just want to hang out. I want to break it in, pray over it, have a fire. You know what I mean?
One of the things that I'm looking forward to is putting our son's ashes in the ground.
I didn't even think about that. We've been carrying them, but we know that he's not there.
Yeah.
But there's still something about, like, you know, we have them.
Yeah.
We know that you came from dust, and to dust you'll return. I mean, he was cremated, which if I would have done it differently, I probably would have buried him if I would have known better, but I didn't know better.
Yep.
So he's in a box, and we have been carrying him because nowhere has really felt right yet.
Yeah.
So we will be able to let that part go. And I think if we have our friends with us and kind of
do a memorial and
yeah. Yep, I think that'll be great.
Yep. Well, and the kids too, because the kids all know the story. So I think it'll help the kids to have a little bit of closure, and they'll know, you know, they'll know where he's at.
And it says, mourn with those who mourn and rejoice with those who rejoice. And I'm telling you what, like, we've been rejoicing with some people over this stuff. Like, everybody's so excited with us for this process. And I feel like it's such a good, positive thing. But then I also know that when it comes time for the ashes, that we will have a good support to support us as we mourn. And you know what I mean? Like, I love the fact that we can mourn together and we can rejoice together. Honestly, today it was weird though, because we were both so distracted because we just found out we have a house.
The excitement.
My brain was just like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? We literally woke straight up and was like, we have to go over there. We have to go see it.
She hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah, we have to go.
I took her on the digital tour, but it didn't really do it justice. So what do you think? Were you like, you saw the potential in all of it?
Oh, yeah. So I am an eyesore person, okay? I'm an eyesore person. So I notice all the eyesores. I notice the imperfections in the walls and the ceilings and the freaking paint jobs on the windowsills and all of that. I'm also, like, I've painted with him. He's a contractor. I'm also a house cleaner. So I'm very detailed when I look at stuff, right? But when I went in, it was like, it felt like almost like this could be like a couple days worth of work. If the finances would, like, allow it, how long would it take for us to go just repair some of the walls, paint the whole thing with the spray rig, replace some doors and windows?
Yeah.
Like a couple days. So realistically, the main issue, it's just kind of, I would say ugly. I don't want to say ugly, but like, it's not, there's no structural damage. There's no water damage. There's no, like, roofs caving in. It just needs a freaking paint job, really, and some new doors. You know what I mean?
A couple windows.
Yep. And we don't,
bit of love.
It doesn't have like a stove or like a fridge or what's it called?
I'm gonna do so.
It has a spot for a dishwasher. Oh my god!
So does this chair next to me.
I'm the best dishwasher.
I'm kidding.
Out of me and my kids, I'm the best, anyways.
Yeah, it's cosmetics. It's got really good bones.
Blemish, not fractures. That's right.
Yeah, it's got really good. It's got really good bones. I think the selling point for me was it was far enough out where I had some good standoff. Close enough to people that I love and trust, and just enough away from everything where we could get some shalom, you know. And I like that. A lot.
And you know what else is cool is that we have a bathroom that's unfinished. So there is a finished bathroom, right? There's a bathroom that needs to be painted because it's totally painted black. Like the whole bathroom is painted black.
Yeah.
We need to paint it. Obviously, I'm going to clean it. But we have 2 bathrooms that are not finished. And he's a contractor, and he specializes in painting and bathroom and kitchen remodels, right?
Yeah.
So, like, building a bathroom's not going to be that rough. But we also have this huge, what's it called? Granite vanity counter sink thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to buy a cabinet for it, but we have a whole ass like sink part for it already.
Hey, so some really good friends and neighbors were cleaning out their barn, and they had this in the box still, but like the ants and the mice had like chewed the box and the styrofoam up. But inside of it was this really thick piece of galaxy black countertop granite with an undermount sink already in it. And it's a nice piece. It really is. It's a nice piece. And I saved it. They're like, what are you saving that for? I was like, I don't know, but I don't want to throw it away. Now I know, because it's gonna be smooth in there. And I think it's the perfect size for what we need.
We have any root beer?
Oh yeah, we got the
Maybe it will just appear as your housewarming gift. She said, if you had listened to my snaps. I have been so freaking distracted literally all day. Like, I went and tried to do a bid at somebody's house before Shabbat. And I just had to, like, the whole way there, like, try to get my brain to, like, focus on the fact that, like, I have to go look at somebody else's house right now and, like, figure out numbers for them. And it was really difficult because I got home from looking at the house and all I could do was want to plan the house and think about the house and try to, like, figure out what we're going to do with the house. And last night, the kids and I were on the Facebook marketplace looking at furniture. They had this Lego table. It was $20 or $25. It's like a whole table with just the Lego thing on it for my kids, dude. Yeah, like, it's been rough. Like, we have 5 of us. There's 3 kids. We're all in a camper, okay? Nobody has room to store anything. My son has his little particular things, like, don't touch my drum set, right? Like, he's very particular about his stuff. My daughter wants to have her stuff all, like, everybody wants their own little space to kind of, and I do too. I need my own space. And it's actually, what's funny that we got this property right now is that I've been out here just soaking in how nice it is for me to have this shed to come out to just sit at the desk, do some office work, like, have myself some alone time. I have the recliner here. I've been able to come out and read my Bible. Like, I've been so ridiculously grateful for just this shed, okay? And the dryer we have broke again. So I bought, I want to show them. Is that weird?
what?
I want to show them what I
Show
bought.
'em.
I bought this wardrobe hanger thing. And we have a space heater that I set in front of them. And it actually dried the freaking clothes. I can't hang this bag up. I'm going to break it. Oh, no. Why is it blurry? Oh, your finger's on it? Oh, shy. Okay. Whew. I'm going to break it. I'm really good at breaking things. But anyways, I've been so, like, stupid excited about just, this shed. And so now we're going to have a whole house and a whole bedroom, and everybody's gonna have their own bedroom.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be, and there's gonna be a huge area for hosting, and I'm gonna be so excited. Be careful with space heaters. Yeah, we had an incident with the chicken lamp in the chicken shed.
You know, I had an incident when I went outside to get the shofar just now.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, I mean, we live
Where it's icy?
in the sticks, and it's pretty dark outside.
You slipped?
No, I found a booby trap. Hashtag a kid's bicycle.
Oh no.
Yeah, I ate it pretty hard. It was fun. I'm bleeding a little bit.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You got it on your shin?
Uh-huh, yep.
Oh.
Yeah, it's good. Yep.
Did you fall?
I did. Not all the way.
Dang.
But my hands touched the dirt.
Warning, it does not mean you won't still step on Legos. See, but here's the thing is if he's in his own room with Legos on his table, I don't even have to go in there. But they're
Also,
not
if
going
the
to be on the
Legos
table and in
make
my
it
kitchen.
into the
I will
hallway
throw them
or
away.
anywhere else in the house, they will disappear into the never garbage can.
Except for as I've started having to purchase Legos, I will not actually throw them away because they are expensive. But what I will do is start collecting them until they all are no longer.
Striker, they do.
And then eventually they will just reappear one day. Let me see. Whoo! Man. I'm like I keep getting I feel like it's almost anxiety, but I think it's literally, well, I'm also drinking an energy drink, but I think it's just excitement. Like I feel like I don't know how to recognize the feeling of excitement like this. And so my brain is like, oh no, it's anxiety, and it's like, no, this is I think
Yes,
we're excited.
SK. Yes, SK. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's not a good thing.
He says I dry my jacuzzi towels on the TV. See, I mean, like wherever there's heat coming out, it's gonna dry. And the new place. Hold, I'm gonna show you a picture.
Wait, what are the things called? Are they called jacks?
Yes.
The little
Yes.
jacks things?
Yep.
That's the only other kid toy that I can think of that is the worst possible thing to step on.
Yep.
That's basically like a kid version of whatever the D-Day beach metal thingies were. Not good.
So here we go. Ignore the garbage bag that's hanging from the window, okay? We do have blinds. We're going to put the blinds up. We have not done that yet. But there's a garbage bag hanging from the window. But anyways, in the laundry room, I don't know if you can see because of the light. In the laundry room, it has, oh, it lit up. It has freaking a little hanging rack, dude. It's got a hanging rack, so when the clothes aren't dry, or if it's like clothes that can't go in the dryer, we can just hang them up in the laundry room.
Dude, and the laundry room's like the only room in the whole house that's pretty much finished. It's got the rustic like boards on the wall, and then the rustic like barn metal on one of the walls. It's really, I like it a lot. It's got a good little theme going. I want the rest of the house to kind of have a little bit of that.
The kitchen, though.
The kitchen, though.
It's usable, okay?
Just show them where the sink is.
The kitchen is totally usable, okay?
It is usable.
It is gonna have to eventually get fixed, redone. But for now, we could use it.
Turn it sideways so they get a little expansion.
Oh, it didn't work.
It didn't? Oh, okay.
Well, let's do that and then we'll zoom it.
There
Boink.
you go. Okay. Let the people see. Yeah, it's good enough.
There's a handwritten or painted sign on the back that says, "Many have eaten here, few have died."
They can't really see the details of it.
There's a lot going on there, y'all. This hood vent, they painted that blue color, and then we're like, never mind, and then they painted over it black.
Yeah, with house paint.
So it's interesting. But you know what? There's cabinets, which I don't really have in a camper.
There's a
and
couple
we can use them.
Really good things that when you walk in the house, you immediately know that it doesn't smell like fresh methamphetamines, which is wonderful.
Or mold or mildew.
Or
cat
cats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because those are questionably deal breakers for us.
Hey, prayer requests.
Oh.
Jesse and Penelope says, could you all pray for my granddaughter Hazel? She's 3 years old and was diagnosed Sunday with leukemia.
Ah.
So, you want to say prayer?
I think that was in the men's prayer request too, unless it's somebody else, but 100%. What's the name?
Hold on. Hazel, I think her name was Hazel. Yes, granddaughter Hazel.
All right, guys, we're going to pray. Father God, we just come before you in agreement, and we just ask that you supernaturally step in with Hazel, and we know that you love us, Father, and you have showed us so many miracles and have given us so much mercy and love, and we just ask that you step in and that you make a way where there seems like there is not one. And we ask for blessings and peace, And we ask that your will be done and that it will bring glory and praise to you, Father, that no one else could have. And we ask all these things in Yeshua's name. Amen.
Amen. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
That's freaking terrible and scary.
Yeah.
Sorry, caught that, Vic. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Let me see. Blended apricot seeds. # not a doc. Yeah, I'm like, patches, try them. Also not a doc. Not gonna heal or treat or diagnose anything, but
Apricot seeds. Yep.
been some good results from. There's quite a few things. We got all these little ideas that are just kind of theoretical things that could maybe help. You know?
Yeah. What's up, Waffles?
Yeah.
Love you, fam.
I think the same, Tommy. I think that the chemo can hurt a lot more. I have a lot of theories and rabbit holes I've been on in this subject. So I would say definitely maybe try the patches and some like research, see who you know if they have heard of some natural thingy things, because chemo can definitely hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Women's Group Wednesday had a similar prayer request for a 10-year-old girl. That's so terrible. Waffles? Waffles.
Yep. Oh, Waffles is on here.
Please be a propes. Do you want to answer a question? Oh, one of the things here is that if you have a question, you can totally just ask what the question is. You don't have to ask if you can ask a question.
What is your favorite Bible verse? My favorite. Maybe the end of Ecclesiastes?
The end of the matter is this: fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
Boom.
Here's mine. Gotta find it. I just posted it. But those who wait on Yahweh will renew their strength. They will raise up on wings like eagles. They run and are not weary. They walk and do not faint.
Yeah.
Because you know what? A lot of this faith aspect is waiting. How many times did the Father call people to do something and they still had to wait for him to say it's time to go? You know what I mean? And do we sit and whine and complain in the middle of it, or do we find what we could be doing in the middle of it to learn and grow while we wait? Okay, we're going to take your guys' requests too, your favorite verses. We're going to read them also.
Patty says James 1:2. I'll pull that one up.
Wait, was it Joshua? Dang it, 1:9. Is that the one that, no. Choose this day whom you will serve? No. Where the heck is Joshua? Oh, it's in the beginning. In the beginning.
That's pretty good. It's way back
Joshua?
here.
No, Joshua Judges. Okay. Joshua 1:9. Wow, that took me a long time. I was actually flipping the pages, but my brain wasn't processing at all.
James. What'd you say, James? What?
Hold on. Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Boom. Isn't there one near that where he's like, I'm not going if Yah's not like there?
That's a good one, Patty. My brother is counted all joy when you fall into various trials.
Read the rest.
That's it.
What?
That's that verse.
I know, but you should read the rest.
Oh, okay. Well, read.
My brothers, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the proving of your belief works endurance, and let endurance have a perfect work, so that you might be perfect and complete, lacking in naught. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of Elohim, who gives to all generously without reproach, but it should be given to him. So anyways, let training and growth come out of each trial.
Yeah.
Every trial we go through is an opportunity to like sharpen our faith and grow in trusting the Father and everything. So don't waste it sitting around complaining. Just start allowing him to work it out in you. Matthew 5:17. There you go.
Ah,
You got James? You did James?
that was it. Yeah.
Ecclesiastes, blah, blah, blah. Exodus 14:14. Man, that sounds familiar.
Ah,
It sounds so familiar.
oh, I need the back scratcher.
Genesis, Exodus. Gosh.
My winter coat's itchy. I got fleas, I think.
You got fleas? It's because you've been letting the dog sleep in the bed.
But I love her.
The Lord will fight for you, and you have only to be silent. Dang.
That's it. That's fire. That's a good one, bro.
I like the impossible things, because the impossible things, there's no way you can try to force them to work. Like, literally, he's going to do it, and you are just going to watch him. 24:15. I don't know what you guys are saying.
You got.
Oh, you're talking about Matthew?
Oh yeah.
I think they're going off about Matthew too.
Okay.
Isaiah 43:1.
Yeah, come on, Silver Crane. What you got? What you got, bro?
Oh, Isaiah.
I like Striker Caves. Most of
43.
Joshua 1.
43:1. I think. Oh yeah, I think we did 1:9. 43:1. Please hold. But now thus says the Lord, he who created you, O Jacob, he who formed you, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by my name. You are mine. Dang! What's the one about the hands? You remember?
I don't know what
Oh, dang it. It's in Jeremiah, I think. About palms. Not alms.
Oh, I
not
can't even get
psalm.
there. Can't even get
Just
there right
palm.
now.
No, not a palm tree.
Whew.
No. Dang it.
Oh, somebody got schwacked on, huh? You should let them stay and hear the word. Yeah, you should let them stay and hear the word, man.
Oh, here. No, maybe.
I don't know what they said, but.
Let me check this, see if this is it. 9:15. Oh yeah, this is it.
Yeah, well, there's enough people that
I
said
don't know
no.
if I can. I don't know if I can read only a section of this. I feel like I need to read it, but it's long. Remember? This is Yah talking. Behold, I have engraved you on the palm of my hands.
Oh man, that's fire. It's kind of poetry, isn't it?
Yeah.
That whole thing.
That's
Yeah.
good. Hold on. Let me see. Going back. Oh wait, no, we're going to the chat.
Kermode says so. Read quick.
With a heavy accent. Got it. Where am I?
That's it.
No.
Yeah.
Ha! Joshua 24:15. We're going for it. That's not it.
Joshua 1 was Striker Caves.
I know, but we're moving on. But there's still more in there, and I like this game. I like this game a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I became a believer, like just when I was in my baby Christian fire, brand new to my faith. I remember I didn't know you could highlight in the Bible. I didn't know they had like Bible highlighters or anything. And so I always had this little piece of paper tucked into the like pocket of my Bible. And every time I would reach a verse that like I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good, I would just write it down. Like just, I wouldn't write the verse out. I would just write the verse address. And so whenever I would, like the verse or the list was growing and growing, and eventually I had to do like a spreadsheet kind of. And whenever I was like struggling, I would just take this piece of paper out and start going through the Bible and like reading all of these verses that I had like highlighted for myself or whatever. And it always worked. I should probably do it again. But at this point, when I read something, I just end up highlighting it now. Dang it, I closed my Bible. I forgot what I was doing. I had it open to Joshua 24:15. But that's his whole name. Joshua 24:15. There we go. And if it is evil in your eyes to serve the Lord, choose this day whom you will serve, whether the gods of that your fathers served in the region beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
Boom.
I had that. Remember when I wrote that in chalk? I had it written in chalk in front of our porch at the Arkansas one.
We got to get the new things for
we
the
could
gates.
put it up on our gate. Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm saying. I got extra ones, so.
No, we're not putting the freaking mezuzah on the gate. We're going to put a big ass sign on the gate.
Yeah. Hand painted.
But we'll put a mezuzah at the door. But we're going to put a big old freaking...
Sounds like you're saying Medusa.
Mezuzah. Mezuzah.
We're not putting Medusa on the door.
Okay, random thought. Maybe you guys have already dug into this, okay? I was talking to his stepmom, who was kind of, I guess, like her adopted dad was Jewish, I think, or something.
Yeah.
And I was talking to her about the mezuzah that he had ordered. And she was like, oh my gosh, like she knew exactly what it was. And she was like, I remember being a kid and every time we'd go to somebody's house, people would go and like to the mezuzah. And I was like, that's funny because I'm pretty sure that there's a New Testament verse that talks about like if you go into somebody's house, if you like bless, or what is it? Like ultimately it sounds like what they're saying is if you do that to somebody's house and the peace doesn't return to you or something, then like, oh, I have to find it now. Gosh. But anyways, I was like, what if this has always been around and we're just learning about it?
We're slow.
Hold on. Verse about blessing a house? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the one.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh boy.
Blessing a home, no. Oh.
Exodus 21.
Huh. No. No, it's in the New Testament. Oh, there it is. Luke 10:5. Lurk. Lurky here. Oh my gosh, my fingers are getting cold and they're not wanting to flip pages right now. Luke 10. What did I say?
Oh, there's a
10,
lion here
5.
that somehow is making it through the winter.
Whatever house you enter, first say, peace be to this house. And if a son of peace is there, your peace will rest upon him. But if not, it will return to you. Just kidding. That's not
it.
I wonder if there's another one, though. Because I swear there was, here, 5. What's that? 5E. 1 Samuel 25:6.
Oh, Tuna's on here? What's up, Tuna?
No, over here. No.
Every time I hear that name, I think about the the East Coast blue tuna fishing show. I don't know what's it called. Something tuna.
Wicked tuna?
Yeah. Every time I hear it, that's what I think of. So it just makes you want to go fishing. Also, that would be
25:6.
epic.
What verse did I say that was? Dang, my brain cannot keep up on what I was even doing just now, y'all. Okay? Can't. So, there you go. No information came from that. You're welcome. Let me see. For the disciples when they go out to spread the word. Speaking of which, how was the fish? You know what? I took it out. I was going to thaw it. And then I put it back in the freezer. I'm the best at this game.
Soon.
Yeah. But we're going to have a whole ass kitchen. Sorry. A whole ass kitchen to cook in
I got
one
us
day.
an electric stove today. Yeah. A decent one. That'll go right in there.
Oh, okay. All right.
And all I have to do is install a gas one for it.
Oh, gosh.
You love that?
We're not doing the gas, I thought.
No. The people that are giving it to us, the person, said, hey, if you put this one in for me, you can have my other one.
But it's gas.
No, it's electric, the one that they're giving us. I'm installing in their house a gas one. You got it now?
I understand.
Okay, good job.
Oh, gosh. Okay, sorry.
Oh, what's up, Kim Hayes?
Let me see.
Silver Main's here. Oh, man.
Extreme cold. What show is this? Buckets and Bibles. Nerd out with the word out.
Yeah.
My wife highlights her Bible also. I call it her yellow page Bible. I love that. I know. Sammy has her own Bible. I gave her one of my old Bibles, and I gave her her own like little wax highlighter for it. And the other day she's like, I finished Deuteronomy, and I'm like, you read all of Deuteronomy? She's like, well, yeah, I've been reading it for like a month. I'm like, I had no idea.
What was it about?
Yeah,
I don't know.
So then she like tries to show me how she can read it, but she can't pronounce any of the names. So she kind of just mumbles them, and I'm like, dude, I do the same thing. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, we just the older you get, the better you get at mumbling
right,
them.
right.
So
then yesterday she was like, I don't know where my highlighter is. Can you get me a highlighter? And I was like, what do you need? Because in my mind, like, this one's mine. It goes to my Bible. I don't want to lose it. Everything has a place, and you have your own, and you've lost it, right? So I'm like, well, what do you want to highlight? And she reads a part to me out of it, and she's like, I just really like this part. And then she even explains to me why she really liked it, and it was about somebody, like, ultimately being aware of how awesome God was. And I was like, okay, you can use the highlighter. Like, you're actually understanding. You're not, like, going in and coloring just to color and highlight crap. So, it made me very, very happy that my daughter is reading her Bible. What is your favorite verse? This question is for the both of you guys. We just did this. Mine is Isaiah 40 something, I think. And it says, those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. They will run and not grow weary. And then his was, don't remember. Do you guys remember? I'm a terrible person. My brain just doesn't work, okay? My brain doesn't work all the time. Let me see. Yeah, I'm terrible with the addresses. The only reason I ever remember the addresses of things is if I've done a study on it and I run into the same exact, like, I think it's Colossians 2, maybe 14 or something. I don't remember. I still don't remember the verse. But, like, when I was doing the dietary laws and the Sabbath, like, when I was doing those studies, that there was one of those verses came up over and over and over. And so it kind of stores in your brain where you're like, okay, this one's going to be on repeat. Okay, let me see. Where'd you go? Oh man, sushi does sound good.
dog is barking like cray-cray.
Was she barking at something legit?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it passed her through, but
yeah, I like the part when you deal with evil, walked away and brushed the dirt off your shoes. Yeah, for
did I
sure.
move this when I got up, or did you move it?
I don't remember ever moving it. It's possible either way.
All right.
Heather, I think Matthew 5:17 is the only address I know, like, right away. Yeah, or I know by name. And it's like the more you hear it, the more, and that's why to me it's like it talks about like praying and meditating on the word, right? Like all the time we should be. So there's a verse that says that the Spirit will bring to remembrance all that has been said, right? It also says faith comes by hearing, and hearing through the word of Christ or whatever. Christ?
The word.
The word, either way. And so, like, we can read, and as we read, like, everybody is different, right? Like, he personally, if he listens to it audibly, it becomes an entire image in his head, and he can remember that entire scene, okay? He can hear something, like, 3 times and have it fully memorized. I am not that way. Like, I don't like videos. I never watch YouTube videos, ever. I never watch anything. I don't like listening. Like, if I listen to the Bible app, to me, it takes too long, and I want to just, like, it makes me crazy.
I do videos.
I like reading. I like paper. My brain registers it really well if I read it. If I write it, my brain stores it, right? And so to me, like, whatever route you have to take to be getting the word instilled in your brain, okay? Because part of the Spirit's job is to bring to remembrance the things that have been said. But if you don't have that information, even in your subconscious.
Yeah.
Subconscious.
This is a weird ass word, isn't it?
It is.
Feels weird coming out of the word. Sounds weird.
I feel like there should be an N and there's not. I think it's subconscious. No, I feel like conscience. Your conscience, right?
Can't stop it. This is wonderful.
Okay.
Inside of your brain is a fun neighborhood for me to hang out in.
Okay. So, anyways, if you know the right word, please post it for me. If there's an N or not an N. Anyways, no extra N. Subconscious. Anyways. I forgot the point now. Oh, read the word. However that takes for it to store. Read it. But like, if you're only ever doing YouTube videos and every time you hear the word being read by somebody, it's constantly along with other people's words, it can make it harder to know what's biblical and what's not.
Let me catch on this one. So I do videos where people do studies, but I also open and proof text the scriptures.
Ooh, that was a hard one.
That they're bringing up in the context that they're trying to use it, to make sure that it's actually in context, because a lot of people cherry pick stuff and try to make a teaching out of it that's not actually biblical. And a lot of times I'll hear it and my ears will perk up and I go, nope, that's not it. And then I'll go and look and for sure that's not it. Or I'll go, I don't know about that one. I'll look and I'll be like, well, it actually is in context and that's what it says. Trip.
So I like personally to just read it and let the Spirit discern and interpret, right? Because it says to the world these things are foolishness because they were spiritually discerned. So if the Spirit is supposed to reveal truth to us and convict us and bring to remembrance the things that have been said and all of that, like, I think it's important that we know the Word of God in the Spirit, because when we read something that kind of is off, that we know we have to look into that. We know we have to dissect it further.
Man, I got it stuck in my head too.
Hold on. There was, who was it? Davey? I don't remember what I was going to say to you.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Davey, you said something and I lost it.
Could you be mine?
Oh, I wish I would make a movie for each book in the Bible to give a perfect visual word by word. Okay. What wasn't it called? The Bible? There was some, I feel like it was maybe on PureFlix or something. They had a whole series, or maybe like the Bible Project.
Sounds inappropriate. We explain what that is.
It was a movie that was reading the Bible. It might have been just the Gospels though. I can't remember. But either way, it was like,
it's like
reading
some kind of Christian.
But either way, it was reading the Bible, but it was acting out what was happening in the background, and you can hear everybody talking to each other, but the guy was still reading it. So I really like that. I've actually thought about looking it up for my kids, because I would love for them to just be, because they retain so much information by freaking, what is it called? Veggie Tales. Or what's that one called? Storybook.
Thanks, Heather. I like the compliment though.
What, your grandpa?
Yeah, something about grandpa looks so good. Oh, I appreciate you.
It means you have to relocate.
Oh, goodness.
Hold on. Where did SK? People are responding to SK. What'd she say? Where did you go? Reading out loud will help you remember verses too. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think it's funny because my grandma, when we were going through her stuff in the storage, we found this whole like box of index cards where she had wrote down, and I think they were memory verses, but she had this whole index card box full of just like written scriptures. And I'm pretty sure, like, I'm like, I would love to get my grandma's index cards with their memory verses and start giving my kids them to try to learn, because I do think like that's one of the things I do like about the regular church kind of Sunday school aspect, is that they do remember scripture. And like, it's like, oh, John 3:16, right? Like they do eventually. And like, even my kids now, like they did kid Rosh like once or twice, and they already have the Torah, like Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy memorized, and Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Like
not the whole book.
Not the book.
Just the order.
The order of them. And so to me,
which is still great.
Every little bit of understanding that we can gain, like I tried to take a real estate. I was gonna get my real estate license, Kay.
Yeah, you were.
I was in my health issues, but I thought maybe I could do this schooling from home, but my brain was so whack back then, like I couldn't comprehend any of it.
Has that changed?
A little bit. But to me, I feel like I'm more of the type that needs to literally go through and quick scan the entire book just to understand how it's formatted. Then go back, read it all to get like a little bit of understanding of what we're getting into. And then go back and read it again. And once I get it that time, the information will be 100% there. But you have a time limit. And so I can't just keep reading and reading and reading. Which is why I think I like the Bible so much, is because I have to keep reading and reading and reading because I only understood a certain part of it. Like this time, the theme seems to be the like separation between Judah and Israel, and like the genealogies are kind of storing more as I'm like realizing that these are the Amorites and these are the Sumerians. You know what I mean? Like the geography is storing better.
I haven't watched The Chosen. Did you watch any of that?
No, I did not. I want to see, what is it called? I want to say it's the Bible Project. Hold on. I think they have this. I think it's on YouTube. I think it's called the Bible Project.
You know what I did watch? Walking Dead. A lot. And Grey's Anatomy and NCIS. And
yeah, look.
Talladega Nights and Step Brothers.
Am I gonna get a copyright issue if I play this?
It's the first book of the Bible.
They like
its storyline divides into two main parts. There's chapters 1 through 11, which
it like breaks down the Bible stuff and then like draws it all out in little pictures. It's not a movie, but they at least draw it out in like little pictures to explain what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that would be good, especially for just getting the basis of the format of the Bible.
I'm like curious what the doctrinal stuff on that would be hidden in there.
True. They're gonna do too. I've heard that they're gonna do another, not Passion of the Christ. It's gonna be after the resurrection or the apocalypse or something. There's some movie that he's making. Mel Gibson is coming out with, and from what I've heard, he's not ready for it yet because he has to really understand all of it before like setting it up. Which
everybody
I think
email
is awesome.
him, tell him it's not what you think, and don't put a rapture.
But
in
I
there.
don't think that. I think that he's probably. I don't know.
Don't put a rapture in there, Mel.
I don't know if it's end times or if it's just resurrection, but there's supposed to be another one.
Either way, like
The Chosen
read the
is
first
worth
5
watching.
books, and then
SK says The Chosen is worth watching.
yeah.
I just was worried about twisted doctrine being put in it. I just don't.
I mean, you got to decipher. I mean, if you're grounded, then yeah, it's like she's not saying that's our new church.
Yeah.
She's just saying it's interesting. They got some nuggets in it, probably.
All right, let me see. Patty said they started watching it. They're on season 2.
I'm way past all that. I'm not kidding.
You can play 5 seconds of someone else's stuff, but you have to break it up with talking between or during.
Yeah.
Oh, for the copyright thing.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Aaron says I was surprised to see the Torah stuff in The Chosen when it was produced by Mormons. Huh.
Interesting.
It was produced by Mormons?
Oh. Even stranger.
What? Let me see. I heard that too about Mel. Should be apocalyptic. Definitely fits the times. Yeah. Also, the Bible doesn't capture everything. I'm just saying, there's some other stuff that we need to find. I am personally convinced that there's a whole book somewhere that has either been kept very secret, or they haven't found yet. That's my thought. There's something we're missing for certain. But the Bible is absolutely like enough to know what we need to know to be walking in obedience. Not to tout politics, but we are headed for global oligarchy as we speak. Oligarchy. You
stop that.
Oligarchy.
No.
Oligarchy. The Book of Wars. Yeah, there's one of them. Remember, and it's like, as mentioned in the Book of Wars, and that one's not one of the ones we have. We definitely have, I want to say like the War Scrolls, but that's a totally different book. But I do think that there's another one that we don't know.
We should
about.
go on a field trip to wherever they're keeping all the Nephilims. What's that place called?
Alien 9.
No.
Alien 9.
No.
Nevada.
Sector 5? I don't know what it is.
Alien 9, I guess.
No, That's not what that's not where it's at.
Yeah,
No.
in Nevada.
No, the
Come on, guys.
museum. What is it called? You guys know.
Area 51.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about where they hide all the giant bones. Wrenches.
Antarctica. Woo, Alien 51. Area.
The Smithsonian. That's the one.
Area
there you
51.
go.
Gosh.
The Smithsonian. We should go on a field trip to that and then just like confiscate stuff.
Oligarchy. Oligarchy. How would you say that? Okay, somebody spell that word out for me, how you would pronounce it, but with the Y at the end, because I still can't make that work. Oligarch sounds familiar, but oligarchy. Oligarchy. Is that right? I might have got it. Where'd she go? Oh, no, here goes Heather. Oh, Olympia.
Olympia's here?
I swear I seen her name on here at some point, and then I seen Heather start hollering, but I don't know where she went. She disappeared.
No.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Right. Whatever.
Is she here or are you just singing? Oh, I swear I saw her here, but it was probably...
Oligarchy.
It was probably because Heather
works.
sent that. Oligarch. Oh, where is she? I don't know where she is. Oh, I see. I needed to read that in context. Got it. Edwards Air Force Base?
Maybe.
Smithsonian.
Yeah,
Damn it.
Dude,
Words.
That's so
Words.
long ago. Let's just get down to the bottom of it.
I'm so
There
sorry.
you go.
I was singing her name. I bet you were. Oh, oligarchy led to Olympia. Got it. Got it. Oligarchy. Oligarchy. I like that one. Like that version better. A continual dropping in a very rainy day and a contentious woman are alike.
What?
It also says it's better to be on the corner of your roof than with a nagging wife. So get up on the roof, boy. I'm just kidding. I'm getting better.
You're good.
I'm getting better. God's working. Y'all's doing stuff, man.
I've got some strategic moves that I want to do on the property with like flower beds. Yeah.
Hey, Brooklyn. Adelia. Oh, no. Adelia. Don't even start, Heather. Gosh, you got it now. It's all in this brain, ma'am.
Oh, Brooklyn? You changed your name?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, on a different account. Okay, got it.
Adelia is close to Ophelia and also
Nah.
Olympia. And
No. What's up, Brooklyn?
Big Tito dropping sass, but it's biblical. Tito. Who's Tito? Tito. Big Tito. Oh, I see. That's the guy with the... Yeah.
Yep. Oh,
For
man.
a prostitute can be had for a loaf of bread, so inflation is real. What?
No, that's terrible.
I mean, true, yes. Relevance? Question mark. Okay.
Tito's Michael's older brother. Yes. Oh, very good.
Tito. Jermaine. Jackson.
Jackson 5.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Moosing in the woodsin.
Yeah, if you know, you know.
Bertron.
What's that? Brian and the Spelling Bee?
Mm-hmm.
After this, you guys should go watch that.
Yeah, you should go watch Brian. Look up Brian in the Spelling Bee.
Also,
it's just a drawing.
The End of the World.
End of Z World.
End of Z World.
Got cussing in it, so if you have kids, be cautious. Protect your ears. It's funny though.
I like it.
It's pretty applicable.
Shit. Where's the mooks?
Yes, the missiles are coming. 55. Oh my gosh. Tuna, how old are you?
What? You know Tuna. Want me to whisper it in your ear? I'll make it creepy.
No, because that would be weird.
Yeah.
Having some other person's name whispered into my ear.
Yeah.
Okay. So about the same age. Yeah, that's why I was like, if you know 55, we're probably around the same age. Lamp in the Dark? Oh, have you ever watched Lamp in the Dark? No.
No.
Is that a movie? A video?
You ever
A skit?
watched, what is Drinking Out of Cups? What is that one
It's
called?
got some shoes. Oh my god, shoes. Oh my gosh, I tried to watch.
What's the...
I don't know if it was the shoes one. I tried to watch one of those recently and I was like, oh gosh, this is so creepy. This is so like, there's just way too much. I was going to send it to somebody. I'm like, this is terrible.
What
I
about
used
the
to
guy
watch this
frying
when
on
I was a
acid?
kid.
What's that one called?
I don't know if that one's quite appropriate. Remember
It's
how
super
offensive
not.
it was?
It's very offensive.
I felt like we felt people's vibes, like the stuff that we drinking out of cups. Yes. Drinking out of cups. That's literally the one we're talking about right now. Because we did try to watch that with some friends and the vibe was not received.
Yeah, you gotta...
Not my chair, not my problem. That's what I always say.
Yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted. Also,
No, it's wildly.
There's nothing fruitful in it.
No, it's not like good, honest fun. It's just like weird, but whatever. I think it's hilarious because I have the worst sense of humor. Watch llamas with hats. I do remember a video. It was called the Llama Song.
No.
Did you ever see a
I don't
llama?
know.
Kiss a llama?
We're going south now.
I was once a tree house.
Okay, stop.
And scene. All right.
Shabbat Shalom, Southern Party.
Carl! I'm thinking, oh,
Stop.
dude, okay, but it helped when I realized that the guy from Walking Dead has a really bad accent, and I didn't know that, so when I watched the movie, it sounded ridiculous. When I watched the show, it sounded ridiculous when I heard him yell Carl. But then when I realized that he has a regular accent, I don't know what kind it is, and he's trying to enunciate the R, it made it way better for me. Candy Mountain Charlie.
No. No.
Oh, no.
Listen, we've already I don't know what generation or what gen are you? You're like
At heart or by birth?
birth.
Because I belong to no sect of time. Hold on, what was the other one?
No, while
I'm
we're
so happy
doing it.
because I'm a gummy bear, gummy bear. There's another one too, but there's a new one. I am a gummy bear. Meow, 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 meow. I'm terrible.
Yeah,
like
Vic, we're all the way off the rails, bro. You called it.
We used to.
It
was before YouTube. There was a website called Albino Black Sheep, and it had all this, like the Mad Strawberry and End of the World and all that. It was like the original place where people would put on like just hand-drawn and animated little skits before the YouTubes.
When I was a kid, I watched stuff on the internet like rotten.com, which is terrible.
Never mind. Hemi, you knew Albino Black Sheep. That makes me so happy. I also used one. Never mind. Nope. I don't know what generation I am. What generation does it break off into, y'all?
I don't know.
Tell me what year, what title do I fit under? Title? I'm having a hard time with words today. None of these words sound familiar. Etch-a-Sketch. Hey! When I was a kid, I watched this thing called Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah.
You could watch it as many times as you wanted.
When I was a kid,
It would always be a new show.
Atari was like the thing to have. And then the first Nintendo came out.
We had a Nintendo 64.
No, I mean the one before that.
The Nintendo 64 was the one you go, right?
No, all the Nintendos you did that with. Even today.
I did have an original PlayStation, though. Like a regular PlayStation.
There's not, yeah, you do the with all the games. Still.
I think it was a Nintendo 64, though. 13 Tribes, the Feralites, Gen X. Okay, Gen X between 1965 and 1980. Millennials between 1980 and 1994. Dang it.
I'm before that. Wait.
You're a freaking generation. You're Gen X.
I'm Gen X. That's right.
I'm a millennial.
Yes.
Dude.
Yes.
I don't want to be a millennial. I feel like it's got a bad rap. Rap? Oh, like a rap sheet. Like a bad history.
You just got that? Damn, bro.
That makes more sense.
I can plus you up on so much, but not everything. I'm sorry.
Gen Z, born between 97 and 2012. Okay, yeah, no, I'm millennial. We don't identify as a millennial girl. Yeah, no, I don't like that. I identify as Gen X.
Texas tea.
What is this? At this point, nobody knows, Will Dean.
Yeah, we're just hanging out, talking smack.
We have been having an awesome day or two, and we're just hanging out with our friends right now.
Yeah.
Millennials are 81 through 96, according to Google. Well, if that's true, then you're a millennial with me, right? No, you're not. I'm lying. Lies. False doctrine installed. Most millennials suck, but you don't. Okay, I appreciate that. I feel like I
don't know if you can tell, but I was born in the 70s.
Spirit drunk in the blessings. See, yes. I don't identify.
We're all millennials. Yes. Yes, hopefully. Yes.
Yeah, it's a fellowship. Think about trying out for scholarship. I missed Gen X by 1 year. So then what are you? Hold on, where are we going? I have to go all the way back up. So then what are you, ma'am? What's that? Where did it go? 87 here, Grandpa. What? Okay, 87. As in 87 years old or born in 1987?
Yeah.
Born in 82, definitely don't identify as a millennial. Boomer. Oh, I like boomers.
Oh, yeah,
See?
baby boomers.
Yeah,
That's right.
I like boomers.
Yep.
She's a boomer too.
See, the thing about the baby boomers is they got fed the lie. Like, go to school, get a career, do all these things, white picket fence, live happily after. And then they robbed all the BS. All the BS happened.
I think that, my grandparents were still doing all the farming and all the working and just trying to, live outside. And then my parents' generation kind of was like, we're going to work hard. We're going to try to have all the nice houses and move to the towns and all this. Like, my grandparents were just I feel like regular folk. Like, they're kind of like my kind of folk. But all of our parents and my aunts and uncles all kind of rebelled against that and was like, we're going to the cities. Let me see. Are you together? Yes. Shall we is.
Mm-hmm.
Context. Oh, you were born in 87. Okay. I'm so old, I remember when the youngest got the early version of Pong, Tennis for Two. I was going to say Pog. I had Pogs, but I don't know what Pong is.
It's an Atari game.
Oh, okay. I had Pogs.
I played it.
I'm a millennial, but
the first one.
My husband always says he married an 80-year-old and I only continue to age. Dude, I mean, you should have seen when, before I started these patches, he, at one point, I don't know if I told you, he, at one point, I, got out of the truck and my body was all locked up and I literally couldn't lift my feet to take a step. He had just had surgery on his shoulder and I could not move, okay? I was literally locked up. He had to throw me over his other shoulder and carry me into the camper. And so we found this...
any of you guys would have done it.
The Adam Sandler song, I Want to Grow Old With You. And he's like, what does he say? I'll do something when your arthritis is bad. And I'm like, oh, it's you.
Hey, just read the lyrics.
Yeah, we're going
read the
for
lyrics.
It. Adam
Go
Sandler,
for it, because it's cute.
Grow Old With You.
Yep, lyrics. I want to grow old with you. I love it, dude.
Me too. That was our. That
Makes
was
me
my,
so happy.
That was our theme song for the anniversary we just had. Hold on. We talked all night. You drank me under her. They love at first sight. Hold on. I knew right then and there I'd grow old with you. I said I'd tell you jokes whenever you were sad. Make you a mom if you make me a dad. Oh, it's been so much fun growing old with you. I love you. Foot rub you. Tell you you're the only one I'm thinking of. Make big decisions with you. Oh no, we're not reading that one. Oh, we're not reading that. Is this the right song?
I think you just need to get to the other.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. This is. Hold on, I'm gonna find the part that I. That's not the right one. It does say Adam Sandler, but that's not the right one. That one had a lot more going on there.
A really bad version of that.
There you go. Build you a fire when the furnace breaks. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to make you smile whenever you're sad. Carry you around when your arthritis is bad. All I want to do is grow old with you. I'll get you medicine when your tummy aches, because I've always had terrible stomach issues. Build you a fire if the furnace breaks. The furnace hasn't broke, but he does love to build me some fires. Oh, it could be so nice growing old with you. I'll miss you, kiss you, give you my coat when you were cold, which he can't prevent anyways, because I pretty much will jack his jackets and sweaters, but when it comes to it, he will absolutely give me his, and he will be frozen. Even let you hold the remote control. Truth, because I have weird things. I am a weirdo, and he allows it. Let me do the dishes in our kitchen sink, which I literally have a picture I took of him one time just sitting in the kitchen. The one time, no, I'm just kidding. He's done dishes more than that. But like I have
twice.
I have a picture of him just like in his boxers. I think he had like an elf hat on or something. And he's just like in there doing the dishes. Put you to bed when you've had too much to drink, which he has done multiple times. Oh, I could be the man who grows old with you. I want to grow old with you. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Listen to it later.
It's such a cute song. I'm like, yes, this is his song. I'll draw you memes when the grid goes down. Oh my gosh, Charles, that was a good one. I hope it's not real.
Yep,
I hope that
sure,
was
Hammy.
a joke and I'm not laughing at it. I don't read situations always well, but right now I'm assuming this is a joke because I thought it was funny. So hopefully it's not a serious thing. Okay, scrolling.
No joke. No joke.
Oh, you really do. That had to have been a joke.
Wait, what did he say?
I just found out I have arthritis in my pelvis, pain in the ass. That's a joke, right?
No, he said for real.
I don't know about that. That has to be a joke. If it's not, it's a really, really great segue to your health issue. Like, it could be a joke, but also not. Like, what is it?
Whatever.
Sorry, not sorry. Turmeric is good for arthritis. That's where it hurts. Yeah. That was the chair. Yes, the chair. I was about to put a dippy in, and I already have one. Let me see.
Oh, goodness. This is kind of nice just hanging out tonight. It didn't get too wild. It's not. I think because we started early.
I'll get you medicine when your tummy aches.
Build you a fire
If the furnace breaks. If we sing it, does that mean we have to do the copyright thing, y'all?
No.
I don't know how it works. You can't talk to Billy Idol like that. Oh my gosh. Let me see. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure because I felt like I went on the phone for a long time. Are we in a camper? We are not currently in a camper.
But we actually live in one.
We do live in one.
We camp for life, baby. No, not anymore. We got a
Nope,
house.
we got a house. Pastor is a millennial also, and he doesn't suck either. What?
Yep.
What? Huh.
I got him by like 7 years.
Boomer's
bro.
all
6 years.
about getting it done and not whining. I died once when I was 7 and my mom told me to walk it off.
Yeah, that's real talk.
And I feel like now we're in a generation where we're like, please teach me how to grow food and like raise tough kids.
Oh, what we got here?
The chair again. Gosh.
It's fine.
I just need you to realize that it's the chair because I'm gonna get upset every time.
Oh, I love this Jesse guy. Jesse Hernandez? Is that what that was?
That is a girl spelling of Jesse, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
B&B original score. What's that mean? What's that mean?
Okay, Bible original score.
Just came across your podcast and heard you mention arthritis. Oh, I see. I see. Yes, that fits. Yes. I have arthritis technically in my back. But I don't know that it's really... I think it's getting better though. I want to go see if my doctor will order another scan. Cuz it's been what? October. Not last October, but the year before that that I started the patches, and then 6 months after that my degenerative disc stuff had started improving. So I'm very curious now that it's been like a year and a half or something. I can't math good. But I'm very curious to see if my doctor might be willing to order another one just to check on it.
12 seasons on here. Cool, man.
Oh, that was a good one.
Jeez, babe.
I'm so sorry.
Man.
Listen, what do you want me to do? You want me to just hold it in and explode? I don't want to explode.
Just bring him right in the living room with us, I guess. All right. Welcome. This is us.
Let me see. Okay.
Also, the green screen for us looking super poor is not going to change.
But the wall will be installed and painted.
Yeah.
Ketovore. And my aches are going away. I love that. It makes me super happy. Ketovore. I don't know what that means, but I'm very curious if you want to explain that deeper, because I don't quite like keto and I don't quite like carnivore, but I'm curious if it gets all the best of each of them.
Just eat all the stuff.
I do know that my body craves vegetables and I feel like I need vegetables all the time. I don't eat them all the time, but I do need them. But then I went and did the keto, which is high fat, low carb. And then my doctor was like, hey, your gallbladder's upset and you need to lower how much fat you're eating. I'm like, that's literally the whole diet is high fat, low carb. So keto didn't really work for me, and I don't think I could do carnivore because I just like vegetables. But I do think that all the getting full on all the fillers, like the potatoes and rice and corn and flour, I think getting full on those, the filler foods that don't really have a lot of...
all the GMO stuff and the poisons.
They don't really have a lot of nutritional value, and you take those out and all of a sudden your stomach needs less food to get full because you haven't been filling it full of nothing. I only need potatoes. I'm convinced I'm part Hobbit. Heather. Isn't Heather a potato person? Heather? Are you a potato person? I think you're a potato person. I can't remember.
You know, it was really cold in the house the other morning when we woke up, and it was like 7 degrees outside. But it wasn't freezing inside. It was like 56 degrees inside. Which is not bad considering we live in a camper and we only had one space heater going. So,
yeah,
I'll take it.
Maker's Diet. What's a Maker's Diet?
Maker's Mark?
Maker's Diet. Oh, is that?
Yeah.
We tried that.
I've been on that diet.
Didn't work very well.
I didn't look like I was on a diet.
I'll tell you what, though. When we grew our own potatoes, every time, it sounds so dumb. This is how my brain works, though. Every time I ate them, because whenever I eat potatoes from the store, I know that they were used with probably fertilizers, chemical fertilizers, and pesticides and all this stuff. And so when I eat them, I'm like, there's probably no nutrition in this, and it's probably all poison. And so when we grew our own potatoes and we ate them, I was just like, every time I would eat them, I'd be like, oh my gosh, these are probably like packed full of nutrients like potatoes are supposed to have. And I didn't use any chemicals, which was great. Been trying to not eat as much of the processed meats either, mostly eggs, beef, and some dairies dairy and vegetables. Yeah, dude, that was the thing, is the girl that told me, she had me on like keto-ish. And she was like, you can eat all the meat you want, right? Like any kind. You want to eat some lunch meat, you want to eat like beef sticks, whatever, eat that. And so I went in and just pretty much was eating processed meat all the time, which is really not good for you. I probably should have been eating actual food like steak and chicken and fish and stuff like that, but I ate a lot of eggs though.
Also, if you guys haven't heard of the Refuge Ruckus, check it out. Go to Refuge Medical or
Refuge Ruckus.
RefugeRuckus.com. It's a worthy thing to be a part of, and you can do it remote. So check it out. It's coming up here in a week or two.
It's March 7th.
Yeah, and it is going to be excellent. You can you can ruck where you're at and be a mobile or something, I don't know. Check it out online. It's awesome. There you go. That's what we wanted. Yep, hit the link because it's awesome. And being a part of it is a special thing. And you're doing the most good that we could do. Remote Rucker, that's what it was. Remote. We'll be there for sure. You're going to be doing the patchy thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a little booth. I'm gonna explain to everybody about the patches, because we usually get on here during Shabbat, and I am a person that always has questions, but like I don't need all the information you're sending me. I need all the information that my brain is ready to process. So I would like to be able to be out there and just explain whatever questions people have. You know what I mean? Rather than trying to like throw, like poor Hemi, they just throw this massive email with all this information. He's like, bro. Can you not? But like people have specific questions usually, and I would like to be able to answer those. Sarah sent me my patches 3 times and I never got them. Who's Sarah?
Different patches.
Oh, that's the Ruckus,
cool guy one. I got a cool guy patch.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the other ones. The other patches.
Mm-hmm.
You never did get them then? Oh, Kermode said I never got mine either. Aw. Dang. My brain needs delete, reboot, factory, reset. Yeah, can we control C, or no, control alt delete? Can we just force close everything and start over? Quiche, Quitchy, Oklahoma say, hey. Where'd you go?
Hey.
Where'd you go?
I was thinking about the tug of war.
Thank you, Patty.
And how I'm going to end up ripping people's arms out of their sockets.
Kermode said, all good, I got my life saved patch. Anyways, what day? It's Friday. Friday. It's only 8:44. Okay. So, how many people got patches? We did buy a house.
Yep.
Stop looking at me like that, bro.
Sorry, man. I was spaced out for a minute. Come on. Love you, T, for that. That was great.
Oh, that's freaking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did, honestly, like, last night, Jody came home, and, like, we were just, like, he showed up after looking at it. I'm talking to Heather, I'm like, I'm freaking out. Like, I don't know.
I'm freaking out, man.
You are freaking out, man. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Like, he's talking to somebody. I don't know what this member. She's like, maybe you should just say, hey, like, will you update me? And so I texted him. And as I texted him, he pulls up. And I go outside. And he's like, well, I met with the guy. And like, brr, 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 brr. And he's like, and he said we can move in whenever we want. I'm like, my brain is immediately like, how much do we have to pay a month? what are all the things that need to be done to it? Like, how realistic is it? Because in my brain, I just heard, let's move in tomorrow. But logically, I know that that's not true because he did say it's an as-is house. So that means usually that there's some fixer-uppery things that need to happen. And so he like dips out. He had to go to a meeting. He like comes home, drops his bomb on me, and then just leaves. And I'm like freaking out. I start calling my mom. I call my dad. I start calling everybody. And then I lay in the bed with the kids, and we're on Facebook Marketplace going looking at furniture and bunk beds and all this stuff. And he he gets home, and I'm like, and he's like, kids, you need to get out of the bed. He said, my adrenaline spike has wore off. And I'm like,
Me too.
that's what it is. Because I randomly, in the middle of Facebooking, was just like, my whole body was like, brr, like it just
Melted.
shut down. And I was like, I'm pretty sure we just went through like a massive boost in adrenaline, and then we crashed. And then like all of a sudden our bodies were like, okay, we can't. Like, it's time for bed. So I was really worried we weren't going to be able to sleep last night because of how excited we were. But
No,
the excitement
that rolled into today.
the excitement almost helped us sleep better.
Yeah, day of prep was a flop.
Yeah, we got a house. Okay, bye. That's like exactly what happened.
I suck today at work, but
Me too.
I'll have to make it up because I got stuff to do.
Yeah, it was really like it was day of prep.
I got all the measurements and the material on site, so I'm good. I just gotta get it there now. I still was mapping and engineering how this shower is going to get put together properly.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be further than I was. It's okay.
Gotta get those dopamine hits, yo. Whatever it takes, man. Although the other day I was on Facebook, I was scrolling on the videos, and all of a sudden this video showed up with some 41, and I felt it because like I'll go through and I'll put music on and it won't be the right music, and then I'll switch the genre to something else, it won't be right, and I just can't get myself to like get up. But I heard like some 41 in this video, and as soon as I heard it, it was like, that's it. And I just blasted some 41 and like got up and was like, and I'm not like super duper some 41, but like I don't hate them. But apparently in that moment, that was exactly what I needed. Are we going to rent the other property? No. This property we're on is not ours.
You wouldn't want to, yeah, it's very, very, very remote. So
very off grid.
I'll probably keep it for the kids for an inheritance. But
it sucks. We're going to give it to the kids for an inheritance.
It's not one of those things. It's an off grid. Like, you're out there. I mean, you're 45 minutes from anything.
But
so I would say that's not for most people.
I did just realize today that we don't want to put any money into it because we want to have a house. The first goal is to get out of a camper. And so now that we have a house, we can fix up the house, live in it, and then we have a property that we can actually go feel good about starting to put work into, just to have it available, just to kind of be able to have a little off-grid spot. You know what I mean? So rent will be affordable.
Yeah, it'll cost you. It'll cost you a lot.
Kermode, is he trying to move?
Yeah, it's not near here, bro. It's quite a ways away from here. So
far away.
Yeah, like not commutable, far away.
I need the chat to do something. We're about to move on a property that's 45 minutes from anywhere. Good neighbors, though. Honestly, that's the goal.
Yeah, good neighbors is a thing.
And even just like 45 minutes, like to me, I would prefer 45 minutes out of a small town, outside of a big town. Like, I don't want to be like 45 minutes from like Oklahoma City or Tulsa or some big major area. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's not a thing.
Had a few, almost pulled the trigger on, didn't feel right. And honestly, I feel like that's part of this, is like it can be really discouraging trying to figure out the housing situation But typically it's like those who wait on the Lord, right? Like you wait and his timing and his provision will be perfect, and all the rest of it will make sense as to why those other places weren't the places. And we can absolutely try to force our way into the place that maybe isn't the Father's plan for us, but ultimately that just delays the process of him being able to do what he's trying to do. So it is hard to kind of wait through that and like be discouraged over and over, but like his plan is so much better than what we could come up with. Oh my God, Hyped Your Life. Been trying so long to reach you about your extended car warranty. Oh, yeah, get a rental property so it pays itself off. Yeah, the other property is already paid off.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind, because I have a family full of property management experience, and I'm a house cleaner and he's a contractor. So if we could get into the rental biz, I feel like that would be pretty cool. Like, that's kind of why I wanted to do the real estate thing originally.
You know, that would be funny to throw a cabin up there and just rent it in the wintertime as like an off-grid freaking retreat for people.
Yeah, with a wood stove in it.
Yeah.
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 How would they get water?
You just have it stocked already.
Where?
IBC toast.
It's gonna freeze.
No. Do all the preppy stuff. Like make it a thing. And then also put in the rental agreement with the clause.
We just make it like an Airbnb.
Like, hey, if it freezes, it's off grid. It's woodsy.
Yeah, we just do the Airbnb status with it.
Yeah, but like remote.
Yeah, off grid.
That would be hilarious, dude.
My wife is a house cleaner too. Bet she wishes we'd clean up after ourselves though. Word.
I bet.
Word.
That one would be awesome. You just couldn't do it in the summer because the ticks and the chiggers.
And no air conditioning? Come on.
Boy.
I did that. We did that. It was terrible.
Yeah, there'd be like a death disclaimer on that one. Like, if you die.
Yep. We had
not my fault.
We did have a generator, so we were able to run the generator kind of into the night. But when he was gone, I'm like, I don't know that I'll ever get out of the like poor man mentality. So like, I didn't want to use the fuel in the gas tank because I was always afraid we were going to run out of gas and then we would need it and then we wouldn't have it. So I just avoid using it. And so when he would be out of town, the kids and I would adapt to just not running the air conditioner, except for in the middle of the day when the solar was strong enough. But it was, you laid down and that whole camper is just humid and hot, and especially when it's raining and you don't want the rain to come in the windows, so then you close the windows. It's freaking awful. It was terrible. Terrible. Can you rent it for hunting? Honestly,
You could.
I could just I want to do that.
I wouldn't do that.
That's what I'll do. I'll put it up as a hunting cabin, and it'll be my hunting cabin.
Yeah.
And I'll go hunt up there.
Yeah, that's also where my firewood is going to come from.
Yeah.
For a good minute. I need a wood splitter.
Let me see. What did Rebecca say? Hold on. Where did you go? It's not ironic that you just said you'd be willing to travel and give up the homestead dream, and then he blesses you with a house. Yeah, dude. Yep.
Yeah, for real.
Yep. For sure. He always sends me where he needs me to do his work, but he supplies my needs every time. That's true, too.
Yeah.
Yoshua's trying to start a Shalom avalanche. Shalom avalanche. Oh my gosh. I like that became a thing.
Yeah.
4 to 5 off-grid cabins for Ruckus and Refuge training plus off-grid retreat. Yeah, it's not really in that area.
No, this is not a...
But we did originally, when we moved there, we thought of using it to be able to, like, if we had family or friends that wanted to, like, put up a little tiny cabin or park their RV or whatever and set up their own little off-grid space. That was kind of the goal. But then I got so sick I couldn't even put gas in the generator or carry water to the garden or walk to the car. So that's a no-go. Well, it was a no-go. And at this point, now I've been spoiled with water and power. Electricity, I mean, not
we could
power.
Do it if we needed to.
We could. And I feel like that's, to me, is the main goal, is I want to be prepared to be able to survive off-grid if needed.
Well,
But I would also like to be able to not have to be off grid all the way if not necessary. Like if the power grid goes out, I don't want to be shocked. I want to, like, we could use solar just as like a cushion for the electrical bill. You
And
know what I mean?
we got some solar too.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some stuff.
We could still do the, I mean, if you're on a well though, you probably don't, I'm just saying if we had a water catchment, maybe we could save on the electricity from the well pump. I don't friggin' know. I think we should be in the habit of the poor man mindset. No, I'm just kidding. The prepper mindset of getting used to using our systems.
I looked into wood gasifiers. They're a finicky system. And it is doable, but I don't know how long that would be sustainable because I know that they gum up really quick. And let me give you a for instance. So if you have a clean burning engine, you basically can run it for a long time with very little maintenance. Wood burning gasifiers are not clean burning at all, like not even kinda. And they gum up a lot of stuff in them. And although you're not using the same practices like a conventional, like a regular engine, I've seen a lot of maintenance issues on them, especially in the small engine stuff. So yeah, I don't know that I would put that much time and money into something like that. I do like solar though.
Kermode says, I want to be so off grid that I won't know when it goes down. That was our goal too.
Well, if you got a bunch of money, it's doable, but it takes a lot of money and a lot of time to build the infrastructure in order to live somewhat comfortably off grid. Because off grid is not, it's not about comfort. It's about like freedom and liberty. It's a tough go. And here's the thing: is when you live off grid, you know, I did an off grid video, considerations, right? Off grid considerations. You're your own water department, your own engineer, you're your own power company, you're your own roofer, your own plumber, you're all the things. And there's so much, if you don't have experience in that, the actual doing and setting up those infrastructures, there's learning curves in it. And there is buy once, cry once, but the technology on that kind of stuff changes every couple of years. They've got this newer, more efficient setup that you wish you would have got. And I've got buddies that have epic systems that are switching out because the next stuff coming out is more efficient than even that system. And the systems that I've seen that are, if you want to live like in a house with like just the basics, like you want to have something that controls the temperature, right? Air conditioner in the summer. It's really hard to do off grid unless you do geothermal, and it's got its ups and downs. If you're going to run like a mini split, it's only going to do so much during the day, and then at night you're going to have limited access, you know. So like you have to build stuff super duper insulated so that it holds. And there's just
and I'm
there's
more,
a million different things that you got to think about with all that.
My brain is like, how do we make this a permanent fixture that doesn't require outside services to be able to maintain? So like if we have a generator, to me that is a very temporary thing. It'll be nice in an emergency, power goes out, but if the grid and the fuel and everything, if the world goes crazy, you're not going to go get fuel.
Nope.
So how are you going to use the generator? I would rather put the money into a wood stove so that in the winter you have fire, and then freaking solar so you can maybe have fans or something, you know what I mean? But like ultimately you're like, that's why the whole thing with the water, that's where I want to make a homemade water filter thing came from, was because I'm like, the Berkey filters are only going to last as long as you can continue to buy Berkey filters. As soon as you can't, everybody's still left with undrinkable water.
Yep.
You can get the life straws or whatever. Those are all going to be temporary.
Yep.
So unless you figure out a way to provide your own clean drinking water, we're all going to run out of whatever. So I want to just put the money into making it permanent without depending on anything else.
Also, life straw is not where it's at. Sawyer's Minis.
How are you going to get salt? That is a great freaking question. I
That
thought about
is
it.
preps.
I thought about it.
Preps.
But
Salt
even that would run out.
Salt is going to be worth its weight in gold.
Yep.
If the economy crashes and there's food scarcity. Salt will be worth its weight in gold because you will not be able to farm it.
Yep.
Unless you live on the coast somewhere, you're not getting salt.
Can you imagine just like trying to ruck through the woods to get to the friggin' ocean? You're like mid-country trying to find a damn ocean to get salt. You know what I mean? And then what are you going to do? Carry it back?
Yeah, you're not going to make it.
So I would say salt. Like you can,
you can prep salt for probably $30 a bucket full, and it'll go for a long time.
And you know, if you're about to run out, like salt's not going to be available, you know to slow it down and take it healthy. Don't be putting it all over your food, but eat it. Like, take your salt intake for the sake of your electrolytes.
Yeah.
But don't be like, oh, my food's not salty enough today, I'm going to add some salt. You know what I mean?
That's whatever.
But I do think, and that would have to be like, if there was somebody that was in that area, there would have to be the wagon traders. You know what I mean? Running through. Eat all the salt. No, I love eating salt. My kids and I was trying to drink, like, I have the Celtic sea salt and I put it in my water bottle periodically. But then I have to drink the entire water bottle. And the whole water bottle tastes like salt. And it's a big giant, it's this one. And then Jody will randomly grab it and freaking be like, what is this? So we just started taking
bath salts. No.
We started taking the salt.
Not the same thing. Not the same thing.
Not store trash salt. That's right.
Yeah.
And I think Azure, whatever, they have bulk Celtic sea salt.
Yeah.
And it's expensive, but like even the little bags are expensive. So it's definitely not cheap. Yeah, getting good salt of any kind is not going to be cheap. You know, I tried the Redmond salt. Oh, it wasn't the pink salt, I don't think. I did try some Redmond salt, and I didn't feel like it was, because I feel like I can tell when I need salt. And I never really got like I always felt like I needed more salt when I was using the Redmonds. But yeah, I do think that the freaking, I heard something about the pink Himalayan salt being
not so good.
It's got like metals in it or
not
something
so
like
good
that. Yeah,
all,
I don't remember what it was, but
where's the Himalayans?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Himalayas. I get mine at San Francisco Salt Company during any holiday when it's on sale.
Oh yeah, I would steer clear of anything out of the Rainbow City.
Saltitated. Yeah, them spice shops have giant salt rocks they shave for you. Oh, that's cool. Well, I did see a video. It was in, you know, when you go on late, if you're on your Reels or Facebook or whatever at like late at night, all of a sudden the Reels start getting like well, at least mine, they start getting very like tinfoil hatty, you know? And so I was watching one the other night, and it was like showing pictures of like pink Himalayan salt caves compared. Yes, Tuna. Yes, exactly. The blood. Yes, the blood of the Nephilim. They were comparing the pictures of the salt caves to like petrified muscle and petrified like ribs and stuff like that. And so it was like, what if this is like the giants? You know what I mean? That's a Japanese beetle ladybug. That's not a fly.
Shotgun.
Although there was a wasp in here the other day. Wasp
Was there?
bit. Yeah,
Oh,
it was trying to
nice.
get me. Well, it was a red one. Is that a wasp?
Yeah.
I feel like you always correct
red
me.
wasp or a hornet. I don't know.
You always correct me when I say the wrong bug. Maybe you got the tism too. He's like, it's not a wasp, it's a hornet. Look at this bug. No, you should have seen him one day. There was a carpenter ant up on his, like crawling over his nightstand. And he like touched it and he's like watching it and he's like, dude, I think I disturbed it. It's like trying to clean itself because I touched it. It didn't want me to touch him. And then he's just like watching it the whole time and he's like talking to it. I did get a video of it. But he was really upset that he like offended this ant so bad with his dirty like human germs touching him. He was like literally watching him clean himself from the dirty human germs. It was freaking hilarious. people talk about prepping, but the best prep is getting right with Yah. We knew
Yep.
a few who live in the western North Carolina mountains, their stuff is washed away. Exactly.
Yep.
That's where, like, we can prepare, but we don't have a guarantee that we will actually be able to use any of it. Because if Yah says, hey, you got to go, and we know shit's about to go down, if he gives us a heads up, we bust out of here, like, what are you going to take? You going to take your big ass bucket of salt with you? No. You know what I mean? Are you going to take your 1,000 pounds of rice and beans? No. Probably going to take some peanut butter. You know what I mean?
Yep. Creamy.
And some beef jerky. And some canned meat. But even that'll be heavy on a really long walk, which is why we should all be walking, because we should be preparing for the second Exodus.
Second Exodus. Yes.
The greater Exodus.
Yes.
So great that they won't even remember the one from before.
Come out of her, my people.
When the world ends, everyone just head up to my property and we'll take... I don't even know what that means. No idea what that you just said, Striker. Somebody probably does. I don't. Ruck with a 5-gallon bucket of salt. That's how you find out how dedicated you are. Exactly.
I'll see you at the Ruckus.
He said
It's
Heather.
actually not that much, man. It's only like 30, 40 pounds maybe. Might be 50.
Yes, Bob, that's good. People need to realize that Israel ran out of supplies about 30 days into their wilderness journey. Yah took care of them from there. And see, I think we were talking about this last week. Somebody had mentioned, like, when we were talking about the biblical diet, and they were like, you're going to eat whatever you need to eat when you're hungry. And I'm like, but the Israelites were literally fed in the wilderness by the air. You know, because the Father knew that they needed food, and He provided food for them.
Look at the birds.
Mm-hmm. And the
Look at
manna,
birds.
the water out of a
No,
rock.
I'm just saying, look at the birds. Like, they don't.
Oh, yeah,
They don't
they need
reap.
their work, yeah.
They don't do anything.
Yep,
and
and
he
he
makes
feeds
sure
them.
they make sure they got taken care of. How much
Yep.
more are you worth than a bird?
Yep. So we don't have to be, like, we can prepare, because if it, honestly...
Before we go on the second Exodus, if we can't go to the store because we've got to
Yep.
be set apart and we're not taking
Yep.
a mark or any of that kind of stuff, or it's just too crazy, or
Yep.
everything goes to crap and there's famines and there's all kinds of plagues and weird stuff going on, and you got to lock the gates and just hunker down. At least you're squared away for that.
Yeah.
You know? And that's part of, like, for me, keeping the oil in my lamp. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, having extra oil.
And honestly, like, we've had enough natural problems in the world to know that, like, we should all be prepared in this aspect, because we were my mom was in California, and they shut their entire power because of all the fires. So everybody was without power up where my mom lived for weeks, right? So if they weren't prepared, they would have been screwed. We had a time where the neighborhood, we had busted a leak or whatever in the plumbing, and the whole town ran out of water. And so by the time we had got to the store, everybody had already bought up all the water, and we were out trying to melt snow in pans, okay? So, like, having extra water storage, having backup power options, like when COVID happened and we couldn't go to the laundry room anymore, having a alternate source of laundry, you know what I mean? Like, having these systems in place are not always for end times apocalypse. They are so that you don't have to depend on everything in the rest of the world to function as normal, because it won't. And when it doesn't, you guys are totally set, like, you're ready to go. You have it all in place.
I didn't trust you anyhow, world, to act right.
No sausage festival here. We don't eat that. Let's see. Make gunpowder with just the Taco Bell. God has always provided me from the highest highs to the lowest lows. Exactly. There was one time, remember that lady at the store?
Oh, dude, yeah.
Tell that.
So, this is before we were keeping the way.
But we were believers.
We were believers, and we had the kids, and we were really on a tight budget. We needed food. This is the time when I gave my truck back to the bank, right? Because it was just tight, and it wasn't like I wasn't willing to work. It just, the market dried up for stuff I was doing, and it was just tight times. And
no, that was when we had went through the phase of not serving money, and we were trying to trust Him to provide our daily bread. right? And we had to let up the car because we didn't want to make money and idle. And we were like, we just need to do one day at a time.
No, it was like, no, because for me, it was like either I'm going to get groceries or I'm going to make the truck payment. That's where I was at with it. And so money was tight, and we went grocery shopping, and she asked me, she goes, hey, can we get this? And I'm like, no, we can't get that. Not on this trip. We don't have it like that. And we kept shopping, and we kept trying to just get the basics that we needed just to like get through the next few days or maybe even a week. And I mean, we didn't have much. And
I think it was like $80.
yeah, I think it was $80 or something like that. Maybe 120. I don't even think it was that much. It was probably like $80. And this is before inflation. And we went, we got just the basics, what we needed. You could tell by looking at her cart, we weren't just like getting a bunch of crap, right? We were getting like real food. And this lady came up and she goes, hey, can I do something? And I'm like, well, what is it? And she goes, I'd like to pay for your groceries. And I'm like,
we had been like celebrating that we
like,
were so close. We were like, dude, we were within like $1. We made it. We have enough to pay for the groceries.
yeah. And she comes up and she goes, hey, I'd like to pay for your groceries. And I was like, why? And it was so crazy. And this is when I learned that the Father uses people that don't even believe in him.
That was your first question.
That he can soften or harden anybody's heart. And she said, I want to pay for your groceries. I said, why? And she goes, because I've been where you're at right now, and I just want to help you. And I said, do you believe in God? And she goes, no. And I was like, okay, well, bless you. Thank you for that. And we accepted it, graciously, because it was a game changer for us at that point. $80 was like huge. And
Zozo here with your
and so
logic.
And then I realized like how the Father had our back, you know, and that it didn't matter if somebody believed or not, is that he can change somebody's heart, how they act towards you if he wants,
And I was in the mentality of give us this day our daily bread. So the bill wasn't due yet. It had like a couple days or a day or something, but we were out of groceries. So we had to kind of make a choice of like, right now, today, we need food. The bill will be figured out when it's figured out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then just some random unbelieving lady was like, hey, I'm going to pay for your groceries. And we were so excited too. Like we were celebrating when we rang it up, just watching it. And it was like under by like cents. And we had made that budget that we had for groceries. And we were so excited about that. And then this random lady is just like, hey, I'm going to pay for your groceries. And we were like, you have no idea what you just did.
Yeah.
Like, you have no idea.
I think somebody asked us for money right after that, and I gave him like $20.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
Yeah, like outside in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And we didn't have nothing, but it's like,
and
we
I
just
think
got
that's
blessed. How you not going to bless somebody else?
I think that's part of the faith journey for us, is that like when we don't, like we want to do right, but we don't really know what that is. So we try.
That's right, Ben.
But we try and we ask for direction, right? But we also believe that the word is true. So if he's going to, don't worry about what you will eat or what you will wear. Don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow has enough worries of its own, right? Sufficient for the day is its own troubles. Then we don't have to be worrying about next week or tomorrow or whatever, because today is going to be freaking...
Oh, I got one.
Today is going to be even more stressful. Like, just deal with today. But when we look at only today, usually today's okay.
All right, I got there's a good one in the chat.
Zozo?
No. We had
Any advice on sobriety?
Good or Bear.
Zozo, stop being so sarcastic.
Okay, so advice on sobriety.
Oh, is Zozo the one that gets drunk? I can't remember. Is that...
I don't know, baby. Here's the thing.
We'll find out.
It's if you're not sober-minded, it's really hard for you to hear him. It's really hard to stay in the spirit. There's literally no benefits other than fleshly benefits you get out of it.
I mean, alcohol is called spirits for a reason.
Well, and I'm not saying it's evil to drink wine or something like that or have a drink. I'm not saying that is. What I am saying is that if you're talking about sobriety, if you're to the point where you need to be looking at sobriety like sober living, like sober life, it's a process to get there. It's a process. It's your heart condition. You have to start like allowing the Father to work on you. It's painful to get there, and then once you're there, it requires a little bit of work, maintenance. And I think that for me, I took drugs and alcohol to a really, really dark place for a long, extended period of time, and it damaged my being to the point where there was only one way that I was ever coming back from that with any kind of sanity or anything, and it was only by the grace and love of Messiah and what he did for me that the Father was able to spare me from that. And I had to be willing to do the work on my end, and he took care of the stuff that I couldn't do.
You know, we do get that Duck Dynasty thing quite a bit. Where is it? Where is it? Dang it. I don't know where it is. But ultimately, this little book here that pretty much specializes in quitting drinking alcohol.
Well, give it to me. I'll pop some stuff out of there.
It ultimately says that, like, it has to be by a power greater than yourself is the only thing that can save you from that. So, it's really hard to try to quit drinking if you have a problem in your own flesh. And I feel like that's very true in a lot of addictions or struggles, whether that be smoking or drugs or, lust or whatever. There's a lot of different issues. But you need to find ultimately the Father who can start helping you with all of that.
This doctor, William D. Silkworth, actually wrote a little bit on alcoholism, which it still equates into drug addiction. It's all the same. I mean, doesn't matter what it is. If it's got you, it's got you. Some are worse than others, we know. But the one thing that he says right here that I can really relate to is he says men and women drink essentially because they like the effect produced by alcohol. The sensation is so elusive that while they can admit it is injurious, they cannot after a time differentiate the truth from the false. To them, their alcoholic life seems the only normal one. Mm-hmm. They're restless, irritable, and discontent unless they again experience a sense of ease and comfort that comes at once by taking a few drinks. Drinks they see others take with impunity. And then it says, after they have succumbed to the desire again, as so many do, the phenomenon of craving develops and they pass through a well-known stages of a spree, emerging remorseful with a firm resolution to not drink. This is repeated over and over again. Unless the person can have an entire psychic change, there's little hope for his or her recovery. Mm-hmm. So that psychic change comes through spiritual growth. And what I didn't know about addiction is I didn't know when I was out there running amok doing all this stuff that alcoholism was diagnosed a disease by the medical board in 1955. Oh, also the part of the letter that I was just reading right there was written in 1937 or 1938. Yeah, 1938. And it was published in 39.
Psychic change. You always thought, he said, I always thought that meant I could read minds if I got sober.
Yeah. And so it just means it's a shift in your paradigm is really what it means.
In your spiritual walk.
Yeah. So, and doctors, they don't understand the spirit stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And so them, it's the psychic change. That's the words. But for us, it's a heart condition. It's a change in belief. Mm-hmm. But what I didn't know is in 1955 that alcoholism was diagnosed a disease by the medical board. A disease. Like cancer, like something that actually happens. Well, how so? Let me explain to you how it's diagnosed a disease. If you're an alcoholic or a drug addict,
we're talking alcoholism here, okay?
Yeah,
not just if you drink, right? Yeah. This is for specific people like us.
Not if you're a heavy drinker, you can stop or moderate if something comes up in life.
Yeah.
Or stop completely. Like if you can't stay stopped, this is a different thing. If you just you'll know when I tell you the thing. So when they diagnosed it a disease, they were actually doing autopsies on under the bridge wino drunks. And one of the physicians that was doing autopsy is like, oh, look, they have this chemical. These guys must be, they must be opiate guys. They must be addicted to opiate or heroin or opium. And the main physician was like, no, these are 100% under the bridge wino drunks. And so they discovered this thing. And the thing that they discovered is a chemical that our bodies naturally make. It's called tetrahydroisoquinone. Say that 3 times fast. So they discovered this chemical that that naturally occurs in our bodies. Over a lifespan, a very, very, very tiny amount will end up in your body. What that chemical does is it creates craving. Mm-hmm. With alcoholism, the allergic reaction to alcohol is when you drink, it turns that chemical that our bodies produce into hyperdrive. And so now it's making this thing, when you drink alcohol, it's making this craving that's beyond your mental control. You don't understand that you got to have more and you don't know why. Your off button is all the way broke. That's what real addiction, real alcoholism is. It's totally different than what, people put it out there to be. So it's an abnormal reaction to drinking or drugs or whatever it is. And it's not found in a moderate temporal drinker. It's just regular people don't get it, but some people do. And when they do, you know that when you have a drink, you're going to have more than one, no matter how many times you try, or, when you drink, you're going to end up in some shit. So there's problem drinkers, and then there's real people that like real alcoholics. Either one is not a good place to be. You can look all that up, tetrahydroisoquinone. You can look it up online and see the studies on it.
Spiritual realm, like there is a huge disconnect to me. Like here's a major difference. I have absolutely zero interest in drinking alcohol and not getting smashed. Like to me, the whole goal in drinking alcohol is to get hammered, okay? Whether that be to avoid a feeling or intensify a feeling or whatever, right? Hide something. My goal in drinking is to get schwacked.
Change the way you feel dramatically.
I have zero interest in going and having a beer with somebody ever. That to me is a waste of money. Like, there's people that don't mind just hanging out, having a beer, having a glass of whiskey, whatever. I don't do that. And I wouldn't. I've tried just to make myself be able to drink like a normal person. But ultimately, the way that I have to drink, because the more you drink, the more immune to it you get, so the more you have to drink, right? But in the spiritual sense, it fully blocked me from the Father. And I couldn't get out of the drinking without the Father, but I couldn't get to the Father with the drinking. It was just literally my life was just going, it was getting worse and worse. And there's another part in that book, and it says like ultimately their reality seemed to be the only normal one, right? Like we don't, like the actual reality starts to shift. And so what we're feeling and what we're seeing while we're living in this drunken state is distorted and we have no idea. And I believe that drunkenness, there's a reason why it says do not be drunk on much wine. And it's because it puts away our conviction, puts away our self-control. All the fruits of the Spirit and the evidence of the Spirit is silenced by alcohol. And so we can run to alcohol as a crutch, as a fake healer. It doesn't heal anything. It just, it silences it, makes it like static, but then you still have to revisit it. And you never heal. I was trying to explain this to somebody the other day. It's like, if you break your elbow and you're like, I'm afraid to get surgery, so instead I'm just going to pop all these pills for the rest of my life, okay? For the rest of your life, you're going to be popping those pills and you're not going to be able to use your arm. You're going to lose mobility in it. Or you just go get the surgery, which is really painful, and you have to take time off of work, and it takes a lot of recovery. You have to do physical therapy, but you regain use of your arm and you're not living on pain meds, right? And so to me, alcohol is the pain med. You're just like, I'm going to just keep taking this, totally lose my entire life and not even notice it because I'm in such a state of fog. I have no idea that I'm even destroying my life around me because it seems normal. Or you quit drinking and deal with the stuff that you're drinking to hide from, which is my case. I always was drinking to hide from something. And part of me, like when I read, Zozo's message up here about, oh, it's the funnest, it's the best disease, you drink and get happy. What other diseases make you happy? First of all, if you've ever been to a psych ward, you will see that plenty of mental illnesses make people seemingly happy. They're freaking wackos, okay? They're totally content in that mindset. They don't have a problem with it. They love it, okay? So just because you feel like you're having fun doesn't mean like, I'm talking about the Father, like Elohim, Yahweh. I don't know where you're getting at. Zozo's the one that gets drunk and like comes on here and goes crazy, right?
It's fine. Yeah, decent timeout. That's good.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to probably. I don't know. We might need to put you in timeout, Zozo.
He's already in timeout.
No, his message was deleted.
No, look, he's in timeout right there. Down.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I was like, because this is like, we don't mind if you're on here asking questions or hanging out, but like when you just start kind of being sassy and rude to people, there's no fruit. There's no point in it.
This is a really good one, babe. So I want to read this one because this is like really good for anybody.
Oh yeah, this is good. Everybody would benefit from this. Dude.
Anybody. So this practice right here, this is like a simple little like daily check-in on yourself and what your heart condition is. So if you're struggling with your self-will or flesh or any of that kind of stuff, this is like kind of a little flashlight that'll help you spot some of the bullshit in your life when you lay down at night or when you retire at night, because that's what it says. It says when we retire at night, we constructively review our day. Were we resentful, selfish, dishonest, or afraid? Do we owe anybody apology? Have we kept something to ourselves that should be discussed with another person at once? Were we kind and loving towards all? What could we have done better? Were we thinking of ourselves most of the time? Or were we thinking of what we could do for others? Of what we could pack into the stream of life? But be careful that we must not drift into worry, remorse, or morbid reflection. That would diminish our usefulness to others. After all, after making our review, we ask God's forgiveness and inquire what corrective measures should be taken. That's like a quick little baby inventory of your daily, like how did you do today? And that stuff it's gold if you don't do it. When you start looking at that stuff and paying attention to the details of what you do and how you treat people, it makes you way more conscious of what your behavior is versus what you think it is versus what you want it to be.
And honestly, this whole, like, ultimately the whole, like, AA program is really designed about, like, everybody pictures, like, AA meetings, right? That's not, like, it's like saying going to church is gonna give you salvation, but realistically, if you don't have your own walk, right, it's nothing. And so the meetings are a place for you to learn how to do it and introduce you to people who can help lead you to it. But the whole point of the actual book is that you cannot do this, which people work the steps for drugs or porn or whatever addiction they have, and they'll use the same book and just sub in the word that they need help with. But the whole purpose of it is that you cannot be free from this addiction without a total mind and heart change from God. And then it helps you to go through, deal with resentments, figure out why, like, how you actually played a role in most of them. I mean, not all of them, granted. We all are aware that there are a lot of things that just happened to us that we didn't play a part in. But you look at it and you start seeing patterns in your life and patterns in your behavior, and then you're like, oh crap, and then you have to go and like clean up the ruckus that you've caused everywhere. You know what I mean?
If you're an alcoholic or a drug addict and you're just getting clean or you're not clean, trust and believe that you are every bit mentally and emotionally sick as you are spiritually. And the spiritual part of it, if you don't get that part right, if you don't pour into that, none of the other stuff works. Nothing else works. You can't self-will you're into right behavior. You're not going to do it. You're not going to think your way into right thinking. You know, you're just not going to do it. You have to have, for me, I had to have God's help in giving me some kind of moral compass And praise the Most High that I believed that he was real. Because people come in and they don't believe. And AA is really, it's toned back from religious stuff. It kind of, they really push on the, hey, a power that you can understand for yourself, you know, just whatever higher power that you can get. And I've seen people take that really left. And then I've seen people like me and her who came to the way, right? And so everybody's got their own journey. If you seek truth, you will find it. If you seek comfort, you're going to find whatever you find, because it's not about that.
Tim, you're good. It's totally good for you to, we want this to be a respectful place to kind of exchange information and convictions and whatever. Like, you're good. If you think cussing is wrong, that is, you're not going to make anybody mad. You're allowed to voice that. It actually is something we've been discussing that I was going to dive deeper into. But like, we don't want to be a stumbling block for anybody. You know what I mean? Like, if it is
if it's not your jam, we totally understand.
Yeah, nobody's gonna get mad at you for your convictions.
Yeah, I'm just a dude, and this is just a chick.
Yeah.
We're not, like, if we say something, do your own research, no matter what it is, whether it's recovery or Bible stuff. Don't subcontract your faith or understanding to us.
Yeah,
we're just people, man.
Yeah, and we're doing better than, for sure. Like, I'm not on, well, anyways, we're not the people we used to be. We still have a lot of growth to do, but we are just regular people. And we're not like what you would expect super religious people to be. Like, we're not like good Southern Baptists. Like, we are just really rough people who have lived a really rough life, who are trying our best to like learn who the Father is and how we're supposed to be behaving if we're his people. Let me see. Family hour.
Yes, it's of an actual mountain, Mount Lassen in Northern California.
Yeah, and Skip, your church isn't doing enough if you haven't been called a cult. Okay, this is one of the things that blows my mind, okay? We're going to look up what the definition of a cult is, because I don't think people realize that everybody's pretty much in a cult everywhere. Hold on.
Well, according to the FBI, everybody's domestic terrorist too.
Yeah. A religion or
like
religious
everybody.
sect.
Hold on, go ahead.
Oh, wait, hold on. The follower, I'm going to find a simple one. Oh, wait, maybe not. Maybe the other definition I was looking at was more hilarious. A system of community of religious worship and ritual. So, like, if you were a part of any kind of religious worship, you're considered a cult.
Or ritual.
I wonder if there's a difference between sect and cult. Sect versus cult.
Interesting.
Because didn't they refer to the followers of Yeshua as a cult in the Bible? A sect is a subgroup that breaks away from a larger religious organization. Okay.
I went to rehab in Sonoma County.
Why do some Christians deny being Christian? So we don't, for us, like, we believe in Yeshua, the Messiah, Jesus, the Christ, right? But we don't belong in a Sunday church, because Sabbath was commanded to be kept on Saturday. And a lot of the Bible that they teach there is like only bits and pieces of the Bible rather than the whole Bible. So when people say, oh, are you a Christian? We can say yes, because we are followers of Christ. We are believers of Christ. But when people hear that you're a Christian, they automatically assume that you're a modern Christian and you believe the same doctrine, and we do not. So we wouldn't really belong in a Christian congregation, and we wouldn't really belong in a Jewish congregation, and you kind of just read the Bible. So we don't deny being Christian. It's just not a word that we use, because we've had a lot of
well, because modern day Christianity isn't what we do, and that's unfortunately it's kind of given it a bad name. That the law's been done away with, and that there's no biblical definition of sin. It's just whatever you think, and once saved, always saved. And if you don't believe in the Trinity, or if you don't speak in tongues, and all this religious doctrine nonsense that's not actually biblical in the context that it's pushed and used, is ludicrous.
Yeah, we don't submit to
read the book and do what it
people's
says.
Interpretation of the Bible. Rather, we, in the Spirit, read the Bible and try to walk as Christ walked. So we are disciples of Jesus. We are disciples of the Messiah. He is our teacher, and we are his students, and we learn from him and freaking do better. Yeshua's my cult leader. That's right. Wait, what? Y'all ain't
This
pastors?
is the way. That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Are these guys hardcore Christians or something? Not hardcore Christians, but
But
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, we're hardcore Bible believers,
Yeah.
and we have
We're
definitely.
so Christian. Christians don't like us.
Yeah, exactly. We read the Bible so much that people that. Never mind. I can't. That'll be rude. Not fruitful. Hold on. Who sassed me, Heather?
Drink
Who
the Kool-Aid.
sassed
It's
me?
delicious.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wrenches. I love you for that.
Some of the key elements of a cult are leader adoration and worship as a divine being or as a special revelator, condemnation, and othering. Othering for leading? I don't know what that means. Oh yeah, so that's it. In Acts, it was called a sect. And this I confess to you that according to the way, which they call a sect, so I worship the Elohim of my fathers. There you go. Believing all that has been written in the Torah and the prophets.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Like, I don't agree with everybody on, like, and it doesn't matter who you are. If you have your own personal convictions or understanding, you have to act on them and believe in them, and not stay strong in what your understanding is, and stay still moldable and teachable in
Where's
it.
my notebook?
And so it's a tough one. So, like, I'll give you a for instance.
Hold on, J-Ham, I'm so sorry. I did not. I'm writing it in my notebook right now so that I don't forget. Because there's been so much going on this week. I did not think of that. I'm going to write it down, though.
So there's stuff that I've got brothers that believe that I'm really close with. And there's certain things that they believe that I don't believe. And there's certain things that I believe that they don't believe. And it's totally okay. We're okay to be where we're each at. And I don't hold anybody's biblical understanding higher than the next guys. We're all just people trying to figure it out. It doesn't matter who you are to me. I've seen people in the Word be 100% right and on point and 100% wrong all the way in left field. And it doesn't matter who you are or how long you've been doing it. So I have to work out my salvation with my own fear and trembling. I have to act on my own personal convictions. If my convictions cause division, if my convictions lead people astray, that's no bueno. If they make it to where we're not fellowshipping anymore because you're so out of line that I can't, that's not a thing. It's okay to disagree because if we see everything perfectly the same, how are we sharpening each other? Just saying. We're not.
Where was it? Irvine said AA and religion are kept separate. Yeah, I think in this situation though, this is a Bible channel. We're Ruckus and Bibles, but when there's somebody that's struggling
somebody asked the question about recovery, and so I'm giving some of that recovery in my own experience. I'm not promoting it in any other way than the basic tools that I learned and some things to look for.
But it is a tool, and the information in that book is very helpful.
Also, I said a whole bunch of stuff that's not in the book relating to the same topic.
Why did the demons want to go into the pigs? Because they were unclean.
Well, because they didn't actually want to go into the nowhere place. They didn't want that. Also, when they ran the pigs into the water, look what that did. Like, there's some paradigms in there you got to really study on.
Also, when you take out all of the rules for the temple regulations about what's not allowed in the temple and all that stuff, like clean and unclean, when you take that temple regulations out, the only uses that you have of unclean is when referencing unclean animals and unclean spirits. So there's no wonder why the unclean spirits ended up being put into the unclean animals. Like, there's a big, I mean, even in Revelation,
Well, it's also
it talks
different.
about the unclean
So
animals.
it's different when they're casted out into the abyss versus they choose to be adrift, which I think is a different thing. There's layers there. I don't think we have enough time to really dig into it. Also, I don't have the bandwidth because my brain's a little smoked right now.
Yeah. Pigs ended up in the abyss anyway. Oh, because the pigs drowned. That there was a baptism. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. I'm almost caught up in the chat.
Hold on. The bottom one's really good.
Oh,
we are not under the law.
Y'all are referencing we are under grace. Read Acts and Romans.
Oh, this is a great topic. So let's pull up where Paul says we actually keep the law. So the definition of sin biblically, this is great. Joseph, I'm glad you brought this one up. So in modern day Christianity, what is the definition of sin? Can you pull it out of your Bible? Is what you understand sin is biblical? Also, if we're supposed to be Christ-like and he didn't sin, what was he doing that was considered a sin then? And has sin changed from the very beginning of time to this current day? It has not. It's the same.
We are taught a false doctrine based on just Paul. Paul is the only one that seemingly contradicts anything, but if you read all of Paul's writings together, after having an understanding of the Torah, and the rest of the scriptures, you'll see what he's talking about. But he specifically says, what shall we say then? Are we to continue in sin that grace may abound? By no means. How can we who have died to sin still live in it? So how are we going to, if we could be in sin because of grace, how are we supposed to be dead to sin? And we're not supposed to sin so that grace may abound. Hold on, where's the other one?
And then he says, I would not have known sin
except... What then? Are we to sin because we are not under the law but under grace? By no means. Do you not know that if you present yourselves to anyone as obedient slaves, you are slaves to the one whom you obey, either of sin... What is sin? That's a good part for that. Or of obedience, which leads to righteousness. But thanks be to God that you who were once slaves of sin have become obedient from the heart to the standard of teaching to which you were committed, and having been set free from sin, have become slaves of righteousness. So
what is righteousness? It's blamelessly walking in the commands. So from the beginning of time to our current date, sin hasn't changed. It's still the same thing. And so the law, the Hebrew word for it is Torah, but Torah by definition does not just mean law. It actually means instruction. That's how it starts, with instruction. Instruction that is firm as a law. And that's kind of the overarching theme here, is like, how are we not under God's instructions anymore? That doesn't make any sense. So you got to study these things in their written languages by definition. So, it helps a lot.
According to just his questions, I feel like it's better if we just stick to his.
We're going to stick to Joseph's stuff.
So to his specific questions, because we can go through the ringer, but if we at least address his specific concerns or whatever. It says, we are under grace because through Christ we die to sin and are no longer bound by the law's condemnation.
That's right.
This grace empowers us to live righteously, free from the guilt, and enabled by the Holy Spirit. So I'm going to read you a verse really quick that talks about the new covenant in the book of Ezekiel. It says,
what verse is it?
This is Ezekiel 36, starting in verse 26. This is literally talking about the new covenant. I will give you a new heart, and a new spirit I will put within you. So the new covenant is that we will somehow be given the Spirit of God, right? And I will remove the heart of stone from your flesh and give you a heart of flesh, which we've read about the circumcision of the heart. So he's going to circumcise our heart. And we know by Jeremiah 31:31 that he's going to put his law in our heart. And then it says, I will put my spirit within you, Holy Spirit that we get, and cause you to walk in my statutes and be careful to obey my rules. So the whole point of the Holy Spirit is to teach us how to be free from sin. Not that sin no longer exists. It's that we're not going to be killed because we sin, because he wants us to be able to repent.
Also, if you take Paul's writings just at surface level, it will 100% seem like he says we're not under the law. We're actually not under the law of sin and death. You know, when you sinned before, what happened?
You were stoned to death.
You were stoned to death. So are we under that law now? No. The law of grace is now in place. So you're right on part of that. But the other part is, by definition, sin is lawlessness. That means not keeping the law. That's a New Testament definition. And that's a really important one to chew on for a minute, because you have to define what sin is. It's not just something you feel bad about. It's not just the 10 Commandments, because nobody broke those and said these are different than the rest.
So the law of sin and death was nailed to the cross, right? So we don't die now because of our sin. We always have a chance to repent.
Yep.
Until we actually die. Like, we can keep repenting. And that's the goal. That, to me, is where the grace comes in. And this is what I think a big confusion is that people think what we're taught, it's called a Pauline doctrine. It's where they take Paul, and they take all his writings and make a whole doctrine out of it that contradicts the entire rest of the Bible. And to do that, they have to kind of skip over other verses, even in the New Testament, that talk about keeping the commandments of God, right? Are you going to it?
So I'm gonna go to Revelations, and I'm gonna show you all the way in Revelations that they're still keeping the commandments. And then I'll also proof text that. Joseph, I'm gonna proof text it that if you were to pick which person to listen to, Paul or Jesus, which one would you listen to?
Also, especially,
I'm just saying, if you had them both standing before you and they were saying opposites, who would you pick?
I want to also, before
it's
you
an honest
answer
question.
that,
I'm not trying to be a jerk. I just want you to answer. Would you pick Jesus or would you pick Paul?
Before you answer it, I want you to reference Paul. Yes, there it is, 2 Peter 3:16, because Peter says that Paul is hard to understand and that many will twist his writings like they do the other scriptures. So take care that you are not led away into lawlessness. So
why is the lawless one and lawless is the phrase is used in the Bible? Why is that used? What does lawless mean? What does that mean? Why is it used as why is Hasatan the Satan? Why is he referred to as the lawless one?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like what are we doing here, right? And so like it's okay. So you pick Jesus, right? So go to Matthew. Like open up your Bible. I know you got one.
He says we're all on the same page here, y'all.
Yeah, open up your Bible and go to Matthew 5. And we're going to go Sermon on the Mount stuff and look up Matthew 5 and go to verse 17 and start reading down to 20. Tell me that the law is done away with. Jesus himself clarifies it 100%, says the opposite. So if Paul's writings, the way that you're reading them, are not matching up with what Jesus is saying, then your interpretation of Paul's writings is twisted.
He says, I am not saying to practice cheap or greasy grace, y'all. Just we don't worry about being unclean. And I think maybe if you're talking about the temple regulations, then yes. Sure. He says, I agree with y'all. So I don't think he's arguing. We eat clean because there is actually nowhere in the Bible where it ever was justified. Like, people use verses out of context and they're terribly translated. So we do eat what God said is food, and we don't eat what God said not to eat, because he's God and we trust him and he knows more than we do. So we don't eat it if he says don't.
Yeah,
it's very simple. If Dad says don't, we don't. But when it comes to like the temple regulations, if our body is the temple, like if you have marital time, all of a sudden you're unclean. Does that mean God doesn't hear me when I had marital time that he like put aside for my husband and I? You know what I mean? No. I don't feel like God doesn't hear me. If a woman is menstruating, does that mean that God doesn't hear her? No, I don't think so, because our body is the temple. There's nothing we can do, to prevent the temple, the new temple, from being.
Okay, so let's clarify. The 613 laws, the 10 Commandments are in there, and also with that, the only ones that are not going to apply is the temple stuff,
the temple regulations.
For if you're a priest, like the ones that apply to those, all of them don't apply to us.
Mm-hmm.
Do we do those feast days? Do we keep the Sabbaths? Yes, we do. We can't do them in the way that the Bible outlines, because there's no temple. And so you do them in remembrance, but not in the way you can't sacrifice and do all. There's none of that. We're not doing any of that.
Yeah.
But keeping Passover in remembrance, first fruits, unleavened bread. These are statutes forever through all your generations. It doesn't say until Jesus comes. It says
Jesus
forever.
the new temple, he says, but it doesn't. It says that our body is the temple, and we are where we are housing the Spirit of God, which
Okay.
is what the temple was doing, right? So now the Spirit of God dwells inside of us because of Yeshua's sacrifice. Now our uncleanness has been removed so that the Spirit of God can dwell in us, so that the Spirit of God can teach us to walk in his ways and obey his statutes.
This is just a proof text all the way in Revelations. So this isn't like it didn't happen and all of a sudden and then when Messiah came and he ascended, like everything switched off and there was no more of that. You can see Paul and the guys doing Nazarite vows. You can see that where were they when they got the Holy Spirit? You know, they were doing feast days still,
Yeah,
even after his burial and resurrection. They were still doing them. You can see where they were saying, "Hey, you don't have to get circumcised, but you need to start here with don't eat these. These are biblical laws out of the 613." He gives the guys, "Hey, don't anything strangulated, don't partake in blood, food sacrificed to idols, and whatever else the thing." So that was a starting point. And then he says, and then go to the temple and hear the teachings of Moses.
Because they're going to hear the teachings of Moses every Sabbath.
Because they're going to get it. But at the end of the book, here's what the saints are doing in Revelations. So we're going to go down to chapter 14, verse 12 in Revelations. And here is the endurance of the set apart ones, the holy ones, the saints. Here are those guarding the commands of God and have the testimony, the belief in Jesus. So if that be the case, they're guarding the commands, they're doing the commands, and they have the testimony. So it's not one or the other. And a lot of Christians that believe those laws were done away with think those are Judaism laws. They are not. I promise you they are not. Judaism is the extra biblical stuff that the now practicing Jews in Jerusalem, they are doing. So the people that are in the nation state of Israel, they still practice Judaism. What that means is that they have all these extra biblical rules on if you're going to keep the Sabbath, or if you're going to do this, or you're going to do the 10 Commandments, any of them, then you have to do all this different stuff in order to do it right. Otherwise, you're not doing it right, and that's a religion. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about Judaism. We're just talking about the commandments, what's written in the Bible, just the way it's prescribed here.
Hold on, we're gonna 1 Corinthians 3:16, because he's saying Jesus said, "Destroy this temple," right? So he's saying Jesus is the temple. So I mean, I guess you could probably figure, like, if we're to walk like Christ, if we are of the same body, it's all like his temple with the Spirit of God living in him. And then reference later 1 Corinthians 13, where is it? Oh wait, maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, we're going to read 5:17
Hold on.
through 20, because I think that's going to really help him.
Well, I think hold on, 6:19. We're gonna read
Well,
this one really quick.
it's kind of a mic drop on the whole situation. It's like either you believe what this says, and it's in context. That's the thing, is we're gonna look at it in context.
Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God? You are not your own, for you were bought with a price. So glorify God in your body. So it's not like Jesus is the temple or we are the temple. It is, yes.
Yeah.
Like, we are the temple and he is the temple, because the Spirit of God dwells in him. The Spirit of God dwells in us.
Yeah, what happened when he got baptized?
Where the Spirit of God dwells is the temple. You can't maintain God in a building.
So let's just read the Matthew 5:17 through 19. We'll just read it really quick, and this is in context. You can go and proof text it for yourself. So Jesus says, "Do not think that I came to destroy the law or the prophets. I did not come to destroy them, but to complete. For truly, this is the next part. It's really important. For truly I say unto you, until I tell to you, and geez, I'm having a hard time tonight. Truly I say to you, until heaven and earth pass away, not one yod, not one tittle. That's the smallest marks. Shall by no means pass from the law until all be done. Well, all's done. Wait, heaven and earth have not passed away yet, so they're still in play. And then he clarifies with the next two verses. So whoever breaks the least of these commandments and teaches others to do so shall be called least in the reigns of the heavens. But whoever does them and teaches them will be called great in the kingdoms of heaven. Wow. It's very clear. If you do the commandments, you'll be called great. And if you teach people to not do them, you'll be called least. That's Jesus saying that. And you can't argue with it. It's out of his mouth. So if what you're studying in Paul's writings doesn't match with that understanding, the doctrine that you believe, go back and read the whole New Testament as if the laws are still in effect. It will mean something different to you.
Paul answers himself in most of his writings. He's very confusing. If you don't understand what he's saying, he'll say get circumcised, and then he says don't get circumcised, and then he says keep the law, don't keep the law, because he's not clear. But the people who he's talking to are understanding what he's saying. But we come in trying to figure it out, and it sounds very backwards. Like he's like, one minute he's like, well, if I can suggest it, like, don't even get married if you ain't burning up with lust. And then in another writing, he's like, those who, like, teach you not to get married. So, like, if you take Paul's word at face value,
you can cherry pick it to death.
You can prove a doctrine one way or another. You can prove whatever you want to believe on that, right? Like, I justified my drinking. I'm going to drink because at one point, I think it was Paul, or was like, hey, Timothy or whoever, like, for the sake of your common ailments, like, make sure to have wine. And so I was like, I'm going to drink some wine because I got ailments. You know what I mean? But then he also says, like, not to be drunk on much wine, which I couldn't do. So Paul is just not very clear. So you have to understand the Word of God, the Old Testament, the Torah, read through the prophets to see the experiences with people listening and not listening, and then read the Gospels, okay? And then you can try to understand Paul's writings, because if you don't have a firm understanding of what the Father expects of his people, you can't identify when there's something that sounds contradictory, right? Paul's not contradicting the Old Testament. He's not contradicting Yeshua. He's not contradicting anybody else in the whole Bible. It's just that people have translated him and put a specific doctrine on his writings. And there's been a couple people that posted on here that there's a YouTube channel. It's called, what's it called? It's called 119 Ministries, and they do a whole teaching on the Pauline doctrine. Circumcision is about Gentiles fitting in with the Jews in a new Christian church. I understand what we're arguing. No, so I guess, but ultimately it was about.
Well, there is no Gentiles. If you believe in Messiah, you're not a Gentile anymore.
But
that's a Christian doctrine thing.
The issue was that people were saying, you see it over and over and over in Paul's writings. He says people were saying you have to be circumcised in order to be saved. So then he explains why you cannot earn your salvation. And we all agree on that. We don't earn our salvation in any way. We receive the gift of salvation by our faith, which results in sanctification. And so there is
which is obedience.
Obedience to the word, walking as God's people, learning as we have grace when we don't know the truth yet, but because we're walking in the Spirit, he's claimed us. He's like, I got them. Don't worry about if they're perfecting the law or not, because right now we're working on lust. You know what I mean? Like, he's there as we learn, but that doesn't give us the opportunity or the permission to just run amok and live just like the heathens, because
Romans
Jesus did
11
away with
is
the
the
law.
grafting in. When you're grafted in to the native, they're talking about an already established people. What is the root that you're grafted into? Israel, the people. The Israel is not, we're not talking about the nation state overseas. We're talking about the name of the Father's people. They were Israel before they ever came into the promised land.
Yes, I do believe that people can lose their salvation. It says so in scripture. I don't believe once saved, always saved. I think that you walk away from Yah and you live however you want and you refuse him, you're walking away from him and his spirit.
Yeah, you can believe he's real. Even the demons do.
Yep, even the demons believe and shudder.
Yeah, Romans 11, I think that's talks about the grafting
And it
in.
even says if you like, what is it? Oh, I'm so tired. I can't come up with the verses, but it talks about like, if you walk away, that there no longer remains a sacrifice for sin.
Yep.
So your salvation is up to you. It is, what does your salvation produce? If you have real belief, real faith, real salvation, the Holy Spirit living in you, what will that produce? Because if you just are like, I believe that Jesus was a dude, even the demons were just like, hey, Son of God.
Salvation it's a choice to believe. So, yeah, I would say that salvation is up to you. You can't save yourself, but you can choose to not accept it. He's not going to make you do it. He's not going to change your will.
Yeah. And it says, some will say, like, you have faith. And I'll say, like, I have works or whatever. But it says, show me your faith without your works. And then he says, do you have to show you a foolish person that faith without works is dead? Like, if you say you're a believer and you don't walk as his people and you refuse his word and you, like, ultimately idolize people rather than, like, serve and worship him and walk with him and let him be your teacher. And I get, like, I was 100%, I believe I was saved. When I was a Christian, I absolutely believe I was saved. Because I would have done anything for God. I would have left anything for God. And the reason that I was being led astray wasn't because I wanted to be led astray. It wasn't because I purposely made a choice to disobey him. It was because I was like a sheep without a shepherd. I was being led astray by teachers, and the Spirit the whole time was there trying to pull me back, and reveal to me, and I was constantly battling, how could what you're teaching be true if this is what the Bible says, right? And so he did. He ended up pulling us out of that and called us to him, where we were isolated. We learned from him, and he revealed it all to us very clearly. So I do think that there is an aspect of, like, people will say, I believe in Jesus. That's my get into heaven free card. Yet they have, like, I have people that are like, oh, well, I believe in Jesus, but I also believe that God is only love. And I don't think that hell is real, and I don't believe in the devil. And I'm like, but that's not biblical. Yeah, well, we don't read that part. We don't teach that part. How do you find a church? Well, it's really hard. Oh, well, why do you have a Buddha statue in your house? Why are you doing all the healing crystals? Like, it's like, if you believe in Jesus, but you're going to take him as just another part of your idolatry and say, I want the salvation of Jesus while I get the healing from the crystals and I get the luck from Buddha and all that, you're not really, like, Jesus is not your savior. If he is, you will learn from him. My people hear my voice and they will not listen to another. Does that mean we're all going to be perfect right away? Nope, because it takes a long time. It's called sanctification. It's a whole process. We're being made set apart over time as we learn, as we grow, as we change. And sometimes he says, hey, stop this. And we go down swinging. You know what I mean? And ultimately, I walked away from the Father. I was still doing his commandments. I was doing Sabbath. I was doing all this. But I was lost in my drinking. And you know what it took? It took for me to ultimately be rebuked by people to even let me know that my drinking was a problem, because I had no idea. And I had to be forced to stop drinking. And when I stopped drinking was when I realized that I hadn't been able to hear God in a long freaking time. So there's a lot of things we could do. I think that, like, being drunk, practicing witchcraft, you're opening yourself up to the demonic, right? Like, there's a lot of stuff that can separate you from God. And half the time it's because we hide from him. or we
As
choose,
if that worked.
right, like Adam and Eve in the garden. We walk away from him. He doesn't leave us. His love stands. It's us that walks away from him. We make new idols. We make new gods in our life when we don't like what he's doing. Hell is the absence of a relationship with God, for sure. Yep. Like, and that's like, people are like, oh, it's hell and blah, blah. It's like literally an eternity separated from Yah. And that to me is hella scary. Because I go like one day feeling separated and I feel like I'm lost. So we definitely don't want an eternity in that place. That's terrible. Oh. Anyways, I think it's time though. Do we think it's not biblical to drink grape juice in remembrance of Jesus? Silly question. I don't think it's a silly question. I think that we still do that, right? We
100%.
still partake in that.
100%.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
What does he say? He says, when you do this in remembrance of me.
I think that you should be careful. Like, I'm
Passover.
careful of where I do that.
Breaking the bread. What kind of bread? Unleavened bread.
I definitely I'll prevent doing anything like that in a church that I'm not familiar with, or that, you know what I mean? Like a I don't know. It's kind of like getting baptized. I'm not going to get baptized by somebody that I'm not confident is in the Spirit of God. You know what I mean?
Is there a rule against grape juice?
It's still the same. It's grape juice and wine is the same.
It's the intention behind it. It's the heart condition. It's not about perfection.
Oh, you're talking about wine specifically? Oh, you're talking about, is it okay to take communion? Do we think it's biblical to drink grape juice in remembrance? I mean, now you're saying wine, not grape juice. If you're serious about the bread, why not the wine? That's the question regarding grape juice. So we don't mess with the wine. We'll do the grape juice because it's really just the same drink that hasn't been fermented as long.
Exactly.
But if we be the variety that cannot handle a little bit of that without going into a craving, we're not gonna play that game.
If you've decided you want to enter into a covenant of not drinking alcohol, there's nothing wrong with it. There's no sin against that.
Yeah, and Hemi, there's a whole Nazarite vow that talks about not eating anything from the vine at all during the time where you're.
So you think they wouldn't do it?
I don't think that they would. No, they wouldn't be able to.
They wouldn't be able to do it with the wine or the grape juice, but they'd probably still do the other stuff.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
What is your take on alcohol in general? Do you think it's okay to drink as long as you aren't drunk? I think that people can do that. I personally
drinking's
cannot.
fine. Drunkenness is not.
Yeah. It's just the line that gets crossed. I think that drinking ultimately has to come to a personal conviction, because there's people that drink it just like a soda and it doesn't bother them at all. And I'm not that person. So as soon as it becomes an issue, becomes an idol, becomes a distraction, becomes whatever, like, it is a problem, but we usually won't be able to recognize when that happens, and we'll try to fight it and fight it and fight it. Yeah, his first miracle was making water into wine. That's right.
Exactly.
And even, I remember at one point he says, oh, well, John came neither eating nor drinking, and you said he's a blah, 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 and the Son of Man or whatever comes eating and drinking, and you say he's a glutton and a drunkard. So even Yeshua was drinking. So, I do heroin like a gentleman. Take your hats off to me. That's right. Yeah, go ahead. Do the right about face. Man, I sure tried a lot of that. Earlier he said, I used to be a hopeless dope fiend. Now I'm a dopeless hope fiend. Yeah. Yeah, I think that, hold on. I think a lot of it has to do with faith. I ate bread that I was allergic to with my brother's ATS and prayed over not to get sick, and I did not. Yeah, I do think that there's things that we don't have to be afraid of. But, if indeed you continue in your faith. Sorry,
Read it.
Alcohol is the devil's Kool-Aid. Any heavy drinker usually won't make it past 8 years. 8 years. At least 150 gallons of wine. Yeah. Hold on, let me see. And honestly, I thought about that too, because like in the unleavened bread, it talks about don't eat anything leavened all week and don't have it in your house. But then it says to eat unleavened bread every day. So if you're like, oh, I have a gluten intolerance, like, would you not take the leavened bread every day like it's commanded, right? And like, in my mind, it's like, what if we got only organic flour? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. What if you grew the wheat and ground it yourself? Would it be the same?
right. Like if it wasn't the processed, crappy,
GMO,
poison.
yeah.
So, I mean, and there's, I don't know, there's gluten-free flour, I guess, but I don't know. What's your take on 1 John 2:19? Please hold. I do think it's going to be off time soon.
Yeah, I'm tired.
1 John, where is it? It's so short. Okay, 1 John 2:19. They went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been with us, they would have continued with us. But they went out that it might become plain that they are not of us. Okay, so
there's a whole bunch of context that you got to build with that. You can't just pull that one and there's context. You have to go through the whole bunch of that to understand it. To even explain it, you need to read more of the chapter.
So you need to know who is it that went out from them, right? Because what Christianity teaches you is that it's the people who are trying to be Jewish, right? It's not. Because all the people at the time that were believing in Jesus were all still practicing the commandments, right? They were just not practicing the traditions, and there was no separation between Jew and Gentile anymore. But when you read Paul's writings, you can see that there was a teaching that was being spread out about that time, and it's the teaching that he talks about when he says these people are saying don't eat and don't marry or don't have sex or whatever. And that is the Gnostic teaching. And it even says that they deny that he came in the flesh. Again, the Gnostic teaching, like over and over, which is this branch, the sect, I guess, came off of when Christianity first started. The Gnostic teaching was formed and broke off from them. And ultimately, there's a lot of these gospels. They're literally called the Gnostic Gospels, which we don't want to read because Paul really highly warns against this teaching. But yeah, he's not talking about like us going and telling people to obey the Father. He's talking about people that are getting swayed away into some twisted doctrine.
Shalom Alanch.
Those Shalom Alanch happening?
It's the Shalom Alanch right now.
Yes, I think it's time.
Everybody's tired, so the Shalom Alanch. So Shabbat Shalom. We love you guys. This was super fun. I had a blast. Yeah, if you're new here, sub to the channel. Check out the content. You'll have a good time.
And thank you for rejoicing with those who rejoice and celebrating our big, huge blessing.
Yeah, big things happening.
And I think we're probably going to get some of the Patreon stuff going up for the updates and the homestead stuff, like getting all that going up.
Yeah, you guys are going to have a blast with that.
Yeah.
So anyhow, Shabbat Shalom. We love you guys. Catch you next time.
Good night. Shalom Alanch.